Hello, good afternoon. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again, and this is Matchday Live. It is Goodison Park. It is Everton against Arsenal, a ground where we haven't won on our last 5 visits and only one win here in the last 7. It's important we turn that run around this afternoon. Massive game for Arsenal. Come and join us. It's all coming up. Right, so we've got your team news in. Quite interesting team, which we'll come on to very, very shortly now, actually. Let's have a look at the team, shall we? So, for Everton, then, in goal, it is Jordan Pickford. They're back for Ashley Young, while he's still playing, James Tarkowski, Jared Braithwaite, and Vitaly Mykolenko. In midfield for them, Amadou Onana, Idrissa Gueye, and Abdoulaye Doucouré. And their three up front is Aralt, Danjuma, Beto, and Dwight McNeil. On the bench for Everton's goalkeeper, João Virginia. They've got Nathan Patterson, Michael Keane, Ben Godfrey, James Garner, Tyler Onyango, Lewis Dobbin, Youssef Shamiti, and of course Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So the Arsenal team, and this is where it gets interesting. In goal, David Raya, an Arsenal debut for the new signing from Brentford. David Raya in the team today. About time he is in the team. Fantastic news. That is the back four: Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, and Alexander Zinchenko. No real surprises there. In midfield, there's another change. Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and it's Fabio Vieira instead of Kai Havertz. Bit worried about that one. We'll come on to that very shortly. And then the front three: Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, either side of Eddie Nketiah gets the nod again, despite Gabriel Jesus being fit. So that's the team for Arsenal. On the bench, Aaron Ramsdale, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Jakub Kiwior, Jorginho, Kai Havertz, Leandro Trossard, Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson, and Gabriel Jesus. Wow. What a team that is, isn't it? Let's be honest. Some surprises there. I'm a little bit worried about Fabio Vieira in midfield. Very physical team, Everton. I look at their midfield, Onana, Gueye, and Doucouré, three very physical players. That's a little bit of a worry for me, but very happy that David Raya's finally got the nod in goal. We've got some comments already. Nathan says, "Hi, Rich. Hope you're well. Thoughts on the team?" Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy with the goalkeeper change. 100%. I think it's about time. David Raya's clearly been brought in to be the number one, and it's just a matter of time. Now he's in. Obviously, depending on how it goes today, I think they've maybe looked at the fact of how dangerous Everton are from set pieces and stuff like that, and maybe felt David Raya's a better option. But I think going forward, he's the better option anyway. So I'm delighted about that. The only concern I've got really is Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira, midfield. Everton are a very physical team. They've bullied us in this fixture previously. And, Sean Dyche, we know we always have difficulties against Sean Dyche teams away from home. So that's a little concern for me. I think our midfield's a little bit light. And Martin Odegaard got bullied all over the pitch here last season, didn't he? So it's really Declan Rice is going to have to do that side of things on his own, basically, isn't he, for us today, which is a little bit of a concern. That's the one area of the team that concerns me. I would have brought Jorginho in instead of Fabio Vieira. Personally, that would have been my choice for this particular game. But just to maybe enable us to keep the ball a bit better and just stand up to the physicality a little bit more experience of these type of games, I just feel Jorginho would have been a better option. But we've gone with Fabio Vieira. He's done really well, hasn't he, last couple of games coming off the bench. So we can't really have too many concerns about his form. But is this a game for him to really shine? When you look at the way Everton play, I'm not sure if this is the best game for him to come into, but let's hope he can produce similar form to what he's done in the last couple of games with a goal and 2 assists in his last 2 substitute appearances. So, a little bit worried about that midfield area today, but we'll see. Clearly, we've got player for player. We're a better team than them. There's no doubt about that. In form, we're a much better team, but our record here, we've lost the last 3. We haven't won since 2017 on this ground. We've only won once in the last 7 meetings. It's a terrible, terrible record here. We don't seem to be able to get a result here, do we, on this ground for some unknown reason? I don't know what it is over recent years. We've had some great results here in the past. I remember a 6-1 victory on the opening day of the season in 2009, I think it was. We've had some 4-1 victories. We've had some good results here as well. But certainly in recent years, it's been a really, really tough place for us to come. And we need to, I think, yesterday's results it's early in the season and dropping points today wouldn't be the end of the world. But looking at the results yesterday, there's going to be gaps to start to build ahead of us if we do drop points here. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of teams in and around us in the league challenging for that top 4 that are going to be maybe expecting us to drop points today, because traditionally this is a game that we do. And sometimes coming back off the international break, it can be difficult, can't it, to keep your momentum that you had before. So we'll see what happens today. I'm a little bit concerned, I've got to be honest, but we'll see. Rajendra's in the chat. He says, hi, Rich and the others. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Rajendra says there, more than 4-0 to go second. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to expect to win by that many today. Bearing in mind, it's a difficult place for us. Rajendra says, we now will change it and win 5-0. Well, I mean, I'm not sure we're going to enjoy a victory like that today. I think it's going to be a very, very tough game against a very physical team that are very good with set pieces, which isn't our best. We're not best at defending those kind of situations, are we? And, these are the sort of this is the sort of team, isn't it, that we struggle against. We do. We have done it so often in the past. And Mikel Arteta, of course, former Everton player, knows his ground well. So I'm quite surprised that he's never actually won here. In fact, he's lost every single time he's taken an Arsenal team here. He's lost every single game. So that's a bit worrying for me. And we know, I say, Sean Dyche's record against Arsenal is not too bad, is it? So, yeah, it's I'm a little bit concerned about this game, I've got to be honest. It could, of course, be our final ever visit to Goodison Park, couldn't it? Because they are getting a new stadium, and they may well get relegated anyway this season. So it may not be a visit, a place that we'll be visiting again anyway. But it's a famous old stadium, isn't it? I've had some great memories there over the years. Been there so many times, enjoyed so many great Arsenal performances, actually, but not so much in recent years, as we know. Nathan says, is Raya in on loan? Well, yeah, at the moment it's a loan, but it's an option. It's basically an option to buy. The reason why we've loaned him in is, well, the reason we were told was that we had some funds free to strengthen the squad on the end of the transfer window, because we didn't bring anybody else in. So obviously it was a money-saving way of doing it. So we've got him on loan, and then obviously we're going to be buying him full permanently at the end of the season. But at the moment he is on loan. Technically it's a loan, but I don't really look at it as a loan. He's our permanent goalkeeper, and I believe he is now going to really stake a claim for that number 1 position, which I believe he should be, because I just think Aaron Ramsdale is too inconsistent for me, makes too many silly mistakes, and is costing us when it matters. We can see too many goals ultimately. I'm not saying that's all down to the goalkeeper. It isn't. It's down to sometimes the system that we're playing, the defenders in front of him and what have you. But I don't know. I don't feel that we're ever going to be able to win big trophies with Aaron Ramsdale as our goalkeeper. So, and I believe David Raya is a better all-round keeper, and I think he fits our system better as well. He's much more comfortable with the ball at his feet. His distribution is much better, and we'll see today. What happens today is he'll concede 3 goals, and I'll look stupid. But I believe he's a better goalkeeper, and we can't judge him on one game, as it's a difficult game anyway. But I believe he's going to be there for us to be able to be a long-term number 1. That's what I believe is going to happen, but we'll see. Everton, of course, they're still in the bottom 3, aren't they? Obviously, any points today will take them out of the bottom 3 should they get a draw or a win. They've only got 1 point from 4 games, and that was a draw with Sheffield United, who are just above them in the table. They have lost both their 2 home games so far, 1-0. So they haven't scored a goal at Goodison Park this season. But we've played them before. They've come into games against us in really poor form, and they've still managed to beat us, haven't they? They've won 4 of their last 5 here at Goodison Park against us. The other one was a 0-0 draw. If you remember that game, that time when Mikel Arteta and Carlo Ancelotti were just about to take over the 2 clubs, weren't they? I was in the stand watching that game just before Christmas 2019. And that's the last time we got anything here that wasn't a defeat. So the teams are in the tunnel. Of course, Everton are in their famous blue and white kit, of course, as you would expect. In Arsenal, I believe we're in our red and white kit today. Yes, we are. We've got nice purple tracksuits as we come out from the little tunnel at Goodison Park, of course, very congested tunnel area, isn't it? At Goodison, there's not a lot of room there. It's quite an old, obviously, it's an old style stadium, isn't it? It's one of the great old stadiums that's left. There isn't too many, is there, left in the Premier League? And of course, this one won't be here much longer either, will it? Because it's going to be, they're going to be moving, of course, to Liverpool Docks, aren't they? Very shortly, the stadium is coming up there, and I'm not sure exactly. I don't know exactly when the moving in date's due to be, but this could well be Arsenal's last visit here, barring a cup meeting later in the season potentially. Anyway, let's enjoy it then while we can. One of these famous old stadiums, which the away end isn't great, is it? To be fair, and maybe they need a new stadium, but I do kind of like these old grounds, and there's always been a great atmosphere at Goodison Park. The teams have just come out into the autumn kind of sunshine here in Liverpool, northwest of England, of course, and it's going to be a very, very difficult game this for Arsenal. Let's not make any bones about that. Let's get our score predictions in, guys. And what do you think the score is going to be? It is going to be tough. I do think we'll probably just about come out on top, but I think it's going to be difficult. I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal, but I'm not overly confident. The midfield worries me. I wouldn't be surprised if we draw this game, maybe 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose it, actually, bearing in mind what's happened in the last few seasons. But anyway, let's see what happens. Terry's in the chat as always. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. He says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Richard. Arteta out, he says still. Think Rice has a lot to do today. A bit light in midfield for me. No, yeah, I said that at the start of the show, mate. Absolutely agree with you. Glad Reyes is in, but can't believe Jesus or Trossard ain't up front. But still, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Eddie's got the nod, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Terry says afternoon, all in the chat as well. Yeah, good to see you all in. Nathan says, I think this is the type of game that you need to match Everton's work rate. Then you can show your quality. You need to get the basics right. Yeah, absolutely, we do. I say that we know what they're going to do, don't we? They're going to pack the midfield. They're going to be physical. They're going to get in our faces. They're going to give away lots of free kicks, and then they're going to try to be dangerous on the counter attack, and they're going to try to win corners and free kicks of their own to cause us problems. That's how it's going to go this game. There's no doubt about that. So we've got to. I'm sure we'll be ready and prepared, but we haven't been previously, have we? And let's see what happens today. There's been so many disappointing results here in recent years, hasn't there? We've gone 1-0 up a couple of times and still lost, so we're not going to get too excited quite yet. Russ says, evening, how you doing? Russ, good to see you, my friends. I hope you're well. Good to see everybody actually in the chat today, which is nice to see already. Steve's in as well. Stevie says, go Gunners. 3-1. Oh, nice and confident prediction there from Steve. Yeah, let's get your score prediction. I know James has gone for 5-0, which is great. I'll be surprised if we win 5-0, but you never know. Anything's possible, isn't it? Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw, if I'm totally honest. The draw is probably my head's telling me a draw, if I'm honest, but I'll go 2-1 just to be optimistic. Nathan's gone 2-1 to Arsenal as well. Yeah, we'll take that all day long, won't we? I'll be very happy with a 2-1 victory. Be nice for David Rat to keep a clean sheet actually on his debut, wouldn't it? A difficult place to come to. So that could be interesting. See how he gets on. There's going to be a lot of spotlight on him today, isn't there? Of course, him in the team. Kai Havertz, of course, dropped to the bench today. Not really a surprise, is it? Let's be honest, in his performances so far this season. I think he needed a break away from the spotlight a little bit. I think he's been struggling for form, confidence, and I don't think this game probably would have been the best game for him to be playing in anyway. So I think it's the right decision from Arteta to leave him out of the team. I'm just concerned that it's Vieira that's come in and not maybe Jorginho, who I think would have been a better option for this opponent. I'm not saying Jorginho should be in the team every week, but for this type of opponent, I do believe that it may have been a better option to have gone with Jorginho. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully Vieira will have a good game and not get bullied out of it as we have been here before. Arsenal just doing their huddle on their half of the pitch. Arsenal look like we're going to be attacking the goal to our right in this first half, which is the Gladys Street end, isn't it? The famous home end at Goodison Park. It is going to be Arsenal to kick off as well. And we are looking to keep ourselves unbeaten this season, of course. So far, so good in terms of results. 3 wins and a draw. And the draw was a game we should have won. We know that, don't we? Anyway, we are off and underway here at Goodison Park in the autumn sunshine here in Liverpool. It is Everton against Arsenal, a fixture that hasn't been too kind to us over the years. Will today see a change to that? Arsenal just in possession in defence. We started a different way. Normally what happens is we pass the ball back to Ramsdale and he boots it long. We haven't done that this time. We've kept possession, a slightly different mindset maybe from how we're starting this game, which is good to see. It's a little bit different. I do like to see Arteta try different things. Declan Rice now in possession, just in midfield, plays out this near side to Ben White, back in his right back position again, where we like to see him, really, don't we? I think that works best there, doesn't it? Zinchenko now inside the centre circle, coming up against his compatriot from Ukraine, Mykolenko, of course, for Everton today, the two left backs. Or I don't really think of Zinchenko as a left back, really, because he never plays it, does he? Terry's gone 2-2. We win if we don't lose the midfield battle 3-1. Yeah, no, I agree. The midfield is going to be crucial in this game. Anyway, Saka now on his near side flicks the ball in. Eddie and catch a lovely back heel. Martin Odegaard just inside the penalty area, plays it back to Declan Rice. Square ball to Zinchenko. It's out to that far side. It wasn't a good ball from Zinchenko, unsurprisingly. It's cut out by Everton and they can now come forward themselves. Good covering there, though, from Declan Rice. Got in there to cut that ball out. It was looking there for the run of Dan Juma. But Declan Rice won the ball back and Arsenal back in possession. We've started this game with most of the ball, actually. The only time we gave it away was Zinchenko's rather telegraphed pass looking for Gabriel Martinelli. Declan Rice now, though, plays it up this near side for Bukayo Saka. There's two defenders in front of him, as always. It's what we get with every time Bukayo Saka plays these days. Zinchenko again lofts the ball this time to that far side to Martinelli. Good take on his chest from the Brazilian. Finds Fabio Vieira, gets it back again. Martinelli, Arsenal starting this game well. Zinchenko now puts a cross in. It's a decent cross, but it's headed behind by Dwight McNeil. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal. We've played 2 minutes. Nick Nack's in the chat. Good to see you. Hi, Richard, in the chat. Yeah, good to see you. Hope you're well. Just starting this game here. 2 minutes played. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal got a corner. And since the start of last season, we've scored the most goals from corners, 15, equal with Tottenham, actually. So let's see if we can go above Tottenham on that particular statistic from this corner here. It's on the near side, Arsenal's right. Looks like it might be Bukayo Saka to take this. We'll see. Obviously, we conceded a goal from a corner, didn't we, last season in this fixture? Bukayo Saka's corner into the 6-yard box, headed out by Everton. Tarkowski, I think it was. It was him that, of course, scored that goal, didn't he, last season? That 1-0 victory. And that was the start, wasn't it, of our, up to that point, we'd got 50 points from 19 games. And after that defeat here, we kind of went back to our usual form, didn't we? And the title slipped away. Maybe teams realised how to play against us maybe after that game. But anyway, we're in possession still, though, with Gabriel. Plays the ball back to William Saliba on his near side, just touches it off to Declan Rice. A lot of the ball in these early stages, Declan Rice. That's a poor ball there, though, back to him by Martin Odegaard, but he manages to keep possession. And now it's with Gabriel just coming up towards the halfway line. Plays it square to Ben White, just touches it in the midfield. Fabio Vieira, that's a good ball to this near side to Bukayo Saka. Cuts in past Mykolenko. That's flicked through there by, actually, I think that was Eddie Nketiah, was it, that flicked that through, but it went all the way through to Jordan Pickford. And now David Raya right out of his area. His first touch as an Arsenal player, and just plays the ball forward to Zinchenko. He's well out of his area there, David Raya. That's what we're going to get from him. He's definitely a sweeper keeper, isn't he? So we're going to see a lot of him getting involved in the play in Edison kind of fashion. And that's what Arteta wants. He wants us to be Man City, doesn't he? But it's not a bad team to copy. But unfortunately, it's difficult to copy a team as good as they are. Anyway, Martinelli has just come up against Ashley Young. That's going to be an interesting battle, isn't it? But Ashley Young came out on top of that, and it is a goal kick. Terry says, I do feel more confident with Raya in goal today. Yeah, 100%. I do as well. And Ramsdale worries the hell out of me every single time he plays. So it's early days yet. I mean, Raya hasn't been tested at all. But yeah, I feel a lot more confident with David Raya in goal. I think he could prove to be one of our key signings in this team. Absolutely. But let's see. He's only played nearly 5 minutes in an Arsenal shirt, and he's only touched the ball once so far, and that was with his feet. Arsenal got a throw over on the far side, which Zinchenko is going to take. Will this be our last ever visit here to Goodison Park? Well, Nick Nack says Ramsdale hasn't done much wrong though. Well, he's always got a mistake in him, hasn't he? He's made quite a few important mistakes that's cost us goals and cost us games. He's done it too often for me. Oh, and that's a mistake actually for Martinelli. That poor pass has gone out for a throw to Everton over on the far side. So I think he's made too many mistakes and it's become too regular. And I think this is the right decision for now. But I think Ray has been brought in as to be the long-term number one anyway. I think that's why we brought him in. We haven't brought him in to sit on the bench. Absolutely not. And you know, the one thing Arteta's done before, he did it with Leno, didn't he? He brought Ramsdale to replace Leno. It took him 2 or 3 games. He made the change, and Leno never got back in. And he's done the same again. And I can see it being exactly the same. You know, I think he's lost patience with Ramsdale. Anyway, Everton are coming forward now for the first time over on that far side. And Nana there just lays the ball off. It's now with Tarkowski, plays up this near side to Mikalenko, but it's given away there actually. But Everton have won the ball back. And Nana it is. Plays it back to goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Russ says they're rotating keepers never goes well. I can't think of an example of it working anyway. No, you're right, absolutely. You don't rotate your goalkeeper. What you do, you play your second choice goalkeeper in the cup games usually, don't you? In our case, maybe some of the Champions League group games, which we've got on Wednesday. Whether that's in the thinking as well, Ramsdale will probably play in that. But yeah, I think for your big games, your Premier League games, your knockout Champions League games, your latter stages of the cup competitions, you play your number one goalkeeper every game, don't you? You don't rotate in those games at all. I agree, and I don't think we're going to be rotating in that way. I think Wednesday night Ramsdale will play against PSV. I think that's going to happen in the Champions League, but I think in the North London derby next Sunday, I expect Raya to be back in the team, depending on how it goes today. Of course, if he has a horrendous game and makes too many mistakes, then maybe not. But certainly, if that's not the case, I would expect this to be the goalkeeper in the Premier League now going forward. It's a good competition to have, though, isn't it? Because, you know, Ramsdale's had it quite easy, hasn't he, for the last 2 years since Leno went, and even before, because Leno was never going to get picked ahead of him. He was always going to be number one, wasn't he? So that was the way it was. And now he's got competition. And I think the competition. Anyway, Arsenal won the ball back high up the pitch. It was actually Ben White just won it. Odegaard looks to thread in Bukayo Saka, but it was good defending there at a stretch there from Jared Branthwaite, the young English central defender. Nick Nack says it doesn't look like Raya is going to have much to do today. No, at the moment it doesn't. You're right. We've played 8 minutes. He's not really had anything to do, is he? But we'll see how the game pans out. Terry says there, if you like Ramsdale, just to make out Raya as coming for Havertz. Nathan says there, how old is young? Actually, young. Well, he's not young anymore, is he? He's still called young, but he must be late 30s, or you would imagine. He's been around for years, hasn't he, Ashley? I don't know exactly how old he is. I'll have to have a look actually in a minute. Anyway, this corner comes in from Saka, very deep to the far post. Martinelli came in. In fact, ever make a bit of a hash of that clearance there. Ashley Young's clearance actually hit one of his teammates. Nick Nat's 38. Well, there you go. He's 38. So there you go. I knew he'd be late 30s. He must be one of the oldest outfield players playing still in the Premier League, is he? You would imagine he is. In fact, it wasn't. It was Branthwaite's clearance hit Ashley Young there to go out. It's another corner to Arsenal, this time over on the far side. So it's going to be Martinelli to take it. We've played nearly 9 minutes at Goodison Park. Everton nil Arsenal. It's been all Arsenal possession, all Arsenal pressure so far. We've not created an effort at goal as yet, though. But this is an opportunity now with another corner. It's our third corner of the game already. It's taken short, actually. Martinelli plays it out. Field to Zinchenko, plays it into the penalty area. Back again. A shot comes in from Martinelli, from Fabio Vieira, but it's gone over the crossbar into the Gladys Street end behind that goal. And that's first real opportunity for Arsenal there. Good play from Vieira, but that's a wild finish. Jesus, that flew over the bar. Nathan says, I think Silva's up for Thiago, yeah, from Chelsea. Oh, yeah, he probably is older, actually, yeah. And Terry says there, Fabio Vieira shoots like Partey. He does, doesn't he? Russ says Milner has to be up. Yeah, Milner, but I think Ashley Young's probably older than Milner, isn't he? I mean, there won't be too many older than 38, will there? Let's be honest. So, yeah, maybe Thiago Silva at Chelsea is, I don't know if he is older than 38, but yeah, he seems to be the most likely. I think James Milner's a little bit younger than that, isn't he? But yeah, he's still knocking around in the Premier League, isn't he? Adam Lallana must be quite old as well, mustn't he now? He's obviously playing as well in the Premier League. Is he Bournemouth? Is he at? Is it something like that, isn't he? Anyway, I know Brighton he's playing for, isn't he? Bukayo Saka there in midfield. Was he fouled? He was. The referee, by the way, Simon Hooper. Just so we're clear, not that it matters really who the referees are. They're all exactly the same. They're all as bad as each other. But Arsenal got a free kick, which Declan Rice takes quickly, plays it out to Gabriel, just touches it into Zinchenko, gets it back again. Gabriel, and Arsenal just keeping comfortable possession, which is going to be good for the stats. But at this moment in time, the ball is still in Arsenal's half, and we're not looking like we're going to get him behind the defence. Now that ball played back to David Raya. Again, he's outside his area. Again, he's got the ball at his feet, and again, he seems quite comfortable playing that way. And Arsenal again have kept possession. Martin Odegaard just twists and turns, but again, he's inside his own half, finds Declan Rice on his near side, and he plays the ball out to that far side to Gabriel. He's got a lot of empty grass in front of him, but he brings the ball forward and then plays it back to William Saliba. Now it's with Declan Rice. Declan Rice on his near side just lays the ball off to Ben White, gets it back again, plays it back. This is good play from Arsenal. Ben White, they tried to thread it through there to Bukayo Saka. It was deflected. Oh, that's a bit of a loose back pass there from Braithwaite, and Pickford had to come quickly there. He was under a bit of pressure. He's claiming he was fouled. In fact, the linesman has given a foul. It was Eddie Nketiah there closing the goalkeeper down. That back pass there from Braithwaite. But Eddie, maybe did he catch Pickford? I'm not sure if he did. Pickford wasn't very happy with the challenge. Well, he did run into the goalkeeper, didn't he? Which is quite funny. Nick Nex says Pickford getting a taste of his own medicine. Yeah, he was a little bit there, yeah. He's not very happy, is he? Jordan Pickford. He's got that kind of demeanour about him anyway, hasn't he? He was having a few words with the linesman. The linesman gave the free kick, mate. Honestly, I don't know what you're complaining about. It probably was a foul, and it's been given, so just get on with it. I don't know whether he was feeling that Eddie Nketiah should have got a yellow card. But of course, you can't say that anymore. You get a yellow card yourself. And for goalkeepers, of course, that's a bit dangerous, isn't it? Because goalkeepers can, of course, get booked for wasting time nowadays with how strict they seem to have become on that. But anyway, Everton now, though, looking to come forward. But that's a poor ball, and Arsenal can hoof it long back into the Everton half. Tarkowski's there. This back pass to Jordan Pickford is a little bit more comfortable, and he plays it back to Tarkowski, Everton's captain today. I think Seamus Coleman's their main captain still, isn't he? But he's obviously injured at the moment, not in the team. Mikalenko now on this near side tries to switch the ball over to that far side. It's a good ball, actually, but Zinchenko covered it well, plays it back to Raya. Lovely control from him. All in black today, the Arsenal goalkeeper. That's a long ball looking for Bukayo Saka up this near side. But again, Everton deal with that pretty well at the back, and Pickford plays the ball out. And then Pickford gets it back again. All in green, Jordan Pickford, the Everton goalkeeper. Football kits are quite a big issue for me at the minute. I quite like a purple goalkeeper's kit myself. But anyway, not too many goalkeepers wear them, do they? Yeah, that's a long ball forward from Everton. Again, Zinchenko's there. Loads of time to cut that out. And he plays the ball back to Gabriel. 13 and a half minutes played. Arsenal in control. It is still 0-0, but Arsenal are in control. Everton haven't even threatened an attack so far in this game. And Arsenal had that one effort at goal. Fabio Vieira's rather wild shot that ended up in row Z of the Gladys Street end behind the goal. But Arsenal looking very, very comfortable in these early stages. But I seem to remember the game last season was quite similar. I think we started quite well, and then we kind of got overrun, didn't we? In the second half, we allowed Everton to get on top and get some set pieces, and that was our undoing, wasn't it? But so far, so good. Today, Declan Rice now in possession for Arsenal on halfway, but he just comes into the Everton half now, plays up his near side to Bukayo Saka, goes past Mikalenko. Bukayo Saka plays it in field to Martin Odegaard. Good feet there, but he's run into a bit of a dead end, and he has the ball taken off him from Decore, but that's a poor ball forward. And the one thing Everton haven't been able to do is keep possession in Arsenal's half so far. And there's a foul there by Decore on Declan Rice. In fact, I think it might have been Idrissa Gueye. I'm not quite sure which one it was actually that committed that foul. But anyway, it was one of those two Everton midfield players getting too tight there to Declan Rice, and it is a free kick to Arsenal. Terry says, don't think Eddie did much wrong there. Well, he did run into the goalkeeper, didn't he, I suppose? We've seen already our goalkeepers are overprotected. And Nathan says they need to keep the tempo high, 1-2 touch. Do not allow Everton to settle into their shape. Well, no, we just need to... There's an offside actually there against Eddie, I believe it was, over on that far side. Yeah, we can't allow Everton to get into to get their rhythm going, and their stride, absolutely right. And Nick Nack says there, Rice putting himself about winning some good challenges. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Declan Rice is the player in midfield. He's our ball-winning midfield player today, isn't he? Because we've got Vieira and Ødegaard. That's not their game, is it? That's what worried me about the team. When you look at Everton's three midfielders, very physical players, aren't they? So far, that's not been a problem so far in this game. And Declan's doing really well again, as we kind of expect him to do. He's just a brilliant player, isn't he? Everton are now coming forward for the first time. That's a good header there from Gabriel, back into the arms of David Raya. And that is Everton's first touch of the ball in Arsenal's final third. And we've played 16 minutes. That just shows the dominance that Arsenal have had in this game so far. But it counts for nothing if you're not scoring goals. And so far, we've not tested Jordan Pickford with all our possession. Anyway, Martin Ødegaard now on a turn, plays the ball up his near side to Bukayo Saka. Again, he's having a run at Mykolenko. He fancies his chances there. But that was a good tackle on him there by the Ukrainian. Got the better of him on that particular occasion. But it's a throw to Arsenal. Martin Ødegaard takes it back to Ben White. Does seem more comfortable in that right back position now, doesn't he? I was quite surprised when he started playing there last season, but you have to say that he looks, when he's played centre back in a couple of games this season, he didn't look quite as comfortable, did he? So he certainly looks better in that right back position now. Gabriel now coming forward over on that far side for Arsenal, plays out to the far side to Gabriel Martinelli, cuts in field. The Brazilian plays it square to Declan Rice, midway inside the Everton half, pings it up his near side to Ben White, plays it on to Bukayo Saka. Saka trying to look for an opening. He plays the ball back to Rice instead. Now it's to Ben White again. Ben White dinks across towards the far post. Oh, Vieira arrived and didn't really get his volley right. A very tight angle. He almost completed a clearance for Everton, actually. But Arsenal have picked the ball up again. Declan Rice is dictating the play in this game again, as he's done in virtually every single game he's played for Arsenal. What a signing he's proved to be. Yes, £100 million is a lot of money for a midfield player, but wow, what a footballer he is. Martinelli now on that far side. Thought about a shot. Plays it square to Declan Rice. He might have a shot. No, Ben White might have a shot. He doesn't either. In fact, we just give the ball away, and now Everton can break away, but they can't because Ben White wins the ball back. It was his mistake there, and he won the ball back. And that's all you can do. Players make mistakes, and that's fair enough, but it's how hard they work to rectify that mistake. And Ben White did that well there. Declan Rice now inside the centre circle, just plays up his near side to Ben White again. Nick Nack says that Everton just can't get out. No, they can't. We're not allowing them to get out, are we? We're just keeping the ball. And every time Everton do get the ball, we're swarming all over them and giving them no outlet. So far, so good. Bukayo Saka now on his near side. Again, he's going to have a run at Mykolenko. And he gets past Mykolenko. Does he? Not quite. And Mykolenko does. Well, again, the Ukrainian. And that's gone out for a throw, though, to Arsenal. But that was good play there from the left back. Ben White there with a throw. Headed away. And the ball goes back again. It's a long ball there from White McNeil, I think it was. William Saliba lets it bounce, but then heads it back across to Gabriel. Gabriel's ball there actually came off an Everton player. Now Arsenal's in. It's Martinelli over on that far side. Martinelli have a chance to score. He's put it in. Martinelli gives Arsenal the lead. Finally, the pressure pays off. A mistake at the back from Everton, you have to say. They're complaining about something, the Everton players. They seem to be complaining before. The ball went through to Martinelli over on the far side, and Martinelli did not waste his opportunity at all. Not quite sure what Everton were moaning about there. Gabriel's clearance it was. Oh, is it an offside they're maybe claiming? It did come off the Everton player, but was Eddie Nketiah offside before? Anyway, Gabriel Martinelli certainly wasn't over on that far side, and he found that bottom corner. A really good finish that is from Gabriel Martinelli. It was Eddie Nketiah they're claiming was offside. We'll have to see that again. Not really sure. But anyway, Martinelli's gone through. Martinelli slotted it away. And it looks as though, as things stand at the moment, it is going to be, when I can find me thing. Actually, they are checking it for VAR now. VAR are checking this goal, so we'll see. It looked as though Eddie Nketiah may well have been offside, actually, when Gabriel played that ball. It did come off the Everton player, but I think he may well have already been offside. So we're not quite sure what's happening yet. I've just played the 1-0 to the Arsenal. It may have been a little bit premature, actually. I was holding back just to make sure. But anyway, I've got a feeling this may well get disallowed. Let's have a look at the VAR again. Yeah, it says offside. The goal's disallowed, guys. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Look like there was 2 Arsenal players offside, Nketiah and Bukayo Saka. Obviously, Eddie Nketiah it was, who got involved in the play. And it is offside. The goal doesn't count. I did get a little bit premature there with me chant, and it's not a goal. VAR ruled it out for offside. He was offside. I don't see that there's much we can complain about there. Nick Nack says, who was offside? It looked like Saka and Nketiah were both offside, actually. I don't think it was Martinelli when he scored. It was just prior to that, when the ball was played from Gabriel. It looked like Eddie Nketiah was offside. He then dropped in, linked the play, passed it through, and that's why the goal's been disallowed. Terry says, well, no, I think he was offside. Look at the replay. It looked like he was offside. Nick Nack says, lazy from Nketiah. Yeah, that's what I think as well. He didn't get himself back on side, did he, quickly enough? He was standing there. Terry says, Martinelli was 2 meters on plus come off every play. Yeah, but when Gabriel touched the ball, Nketiah was offside, and the ball did go forward. It hit the Everton player, but he was already offside. It's the right decision. We can't really. I haven't got any issues with that, having seen it. It was offside, and I always look at it the same. I always say the same. I always look at, if goals were against Arsenal were given. Martinelli's now gone down with an injury, actually, which isn't good, is it? I always look and say, if Arsenal conceded a goal like that, to get Gabriel played the ball forward, it was only just forward. It hit the Everton player, but he'd already played it forward, and Eddie was offside at that point. And then he drops deeper and gets linked into play. It's offside. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely offside. Russ says agenda. No, that's not an agenda, that one. I mean, it's offside, isn't it? And I always look at it, and if Arsenal conceded a goal like that and it was given, I personally would have been raging, and I'm sure most of you guys would have been raging as well, because it is offside, and we would have been saying, well, he's offside. What are you doing? So it was offside. I've got no problems with a goal there. It was a bit lazy from Eddie Nketiah. He didn't move himself up the pitch quickly enough, did he? But there you go. He was offside, and he got involved in the play. It was a nice goal, well made and well finished, but he was offside. Only just Eddie Nketiah, but it's enough. Terry says it was Eddie by his stage. Yeah, it was Eddie. Exactly. Eddie was offside in the build-up. Yeah, that's what I was disallowed. Not Martinelli. Martinelli was fine, but it was already too late by that point. Anyway, it looks like Leandro Trossard is going to be coming on now. Martinelli is unable to continue, which was that just as he scored, he seemed to get a knock from the Everton defender who was trying to tackle him. So Martinelli, who's had not a very good couple of minutes, as he scored, he got disallowed, and now he's got injured. But Leandro Trossard is on, and that's not a bad substitute, is it? Let's hope that injury is not too bad. He's walked off the pitch, Martinelli, so I'm sure he's okay. But the fact he's had to go off so early isn't a very good sign. He's gone back down to the changing rooms now to potentially get some treatment, whatever that injury is. It looked like, I think it was actually when he scored the goal, he seemed to have been caught by the Everton defender just as he got the finish. And now he's gone off. Nick Nack says Trossard coming on here. Trossard is now on for Arsenal. We're midway into this first half, and the goal was disallowed. It's 0-0, and now Martinelli's had to go off. So yeah, not a great couple of minutes for him, was it? Celebrated his goal, and then it's now been disallowed, and he's now had to go off injured. So yeah, not ideal, is it? But anyway, Trossard's not a bad sub to come on, is he? Let's be honest. He's a very, very good player, isn't he? So we're not too concerned that it's Trossard coming on, because we know how great a player he is, but we need him to have a good impact on this game. It looks like Trossard is just going to be a straight swap over on that left-hand side, so Trossard's going to be out there, which I think he's done a lot of his best work for Arsenal playing in that position, hasn't he? So that's not a problem at all. Declan Rice again gets the ball up his near side too. Bukayo Saka gets it back again. Declan Rice, and then pings it out. It's going to be Leandro Trossard's first touch. It's a good touch as well over on that far side. Arsenal's left. Got 2 Everton defenders, but company plays it back instead to Zinchenko now gives it to Martin Odegaard, gets it back again. Now it's out over on that far side to Fabio Vieira, who's actually had a decent start to this game. Fabio Vieira, just that one effort he had that flew over the crossbar, but other than that, he's playing pretty well. Ben White now for Arsenal. Arsenal have had so much possession in these opening 25 minutes, it's ridiculous. But apart from that goal that was disallowed and that Fabio Vieira shot, we haven't created anything else really in this game at all so far. But we're coming forward again now. Ben White on this near side plays up the line to Bukayo Saka. He's got Dwight McNeil for company. Bukayo Saka. Ben White on the overlap. Ben White to the byline, pulls it back. Good defending, but only comes out as far as Declan Rice. Good feet inside the box. Rice's shot's deflected. But Zinchenko plays it out to Vieira. His cross comes in towards the far post, and it's gone behind. I think Ben White and Martin Odegaard kind of got in each other's way a little bit there with that cross. But that was good from Arsenal. Ben White pulled the ball back. Declan Rice, good feet inside the air. His shot was blocked by Branthwaite. Zinchenko played it out to Vieira. His cross towards the far post. Maybe Martin Odegaard was ideally placed and Ben White got there in front of him and headed it out for a goal kick. But that was good play from Arsenal actually there. And it was a good shot there from Declan Rice, which got blocked by Branthwaite inside the Everton penalty area. And that was much better from Arsenal. We got in behind and we created a good opportunity there. Maybe a little bit unfortunate not to have scored. But Declan Rice has been at the heart of everything. Anyway, Onana has now won the ball off Vieira for Everton and it's played back now to Jordan Pickford. Put under a bit of pressure there from Martin Odegaard. And then Tarkowski's put under pressure from Eddie Nketiah and is forced into having to just kick it out for a throw. Arsenal pressing high up the pitch there, forcing the mistake from Everton. It's now throw to Arsenal over on that far side. We've played 27 minutes at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal with that goal disallowed for offside. It was a tight offside. It was offside, and I don't think we can have too many complaints overall. And, I've said it before, when VAR works and it gets the right decision and it doesn't take 25 minutes to get to that decision, then you have to hold your hands up and say that's what VAR was brought in for. When it messes around for 10 minutes and still gets the wrong decision, that's when we have problems with it. And it's still doing that too often for me, but it's got this one right. So we have to be, even though it's gone against us, you have to say it is, it's the right decision. And that ultimately is what we want to see. We want to see the right decisions given in these games, whether they're for us or against us, it has to be right. Anyway, Bukayo Saka looking to get forward over on that near side, but well defended by Mykolenko and McNeil. And now Everton can come forward on this near side. But again, they're passing forward at the Everton front three and not really getting in the game at all. Arsenal pushing them back. Now it's Martin Odegaard. You do feel a goal's coming for Arsenal soon. Ben White on this near side, a goal that's going to actually stand this style of goals. And nice little play on the edge of the box. But again, a little bit too intricate there from Arsenal. And now Everton can come forward maybe for the first time. Up this near side, it is Beto, the Portuguese, inside the Arsenal penalty area for the first time. Tries to go around the outside of Ben White, isn't able to do so, and it's a goal kick. He went a long way around there, Beto. Russ is there, so someone has to decide whether or not a pass is significant or not. These refs are completely not. Yeah, no, but if the ball's moved forward, then that's the rules for offside, isn't it? It's a ball played forward. If you're offside when the ball's played forward, you're offside. So I don't think it has to be a significant pass. It just has to move forward, doesn't it? And that ball ended up going to Eddie Nketiah. So he's active in the play. So it was a significant pass, wasn't it? Because it was him that got the ball. If it was a pass to someone else completely, then it's different, isn't it? It's a different phase of play. It's a different player. Saka was offside. It didn't go to him. So he wasn't the one that was given offside, was he? He went to Eddie Nketiah. So he was. That's why it was significant. The cross comes in from Everton the first time and Raya grabs that one. The first thing he's had to really do as a goalkeeper as opposed to a sweeper. And he did it well there. Nick Nack says good take from him. It was a good take from him. A good kick as well. Almost putting Bukayo Saka in over on his near side, but Saka's fouled Mykolenko. Branthwaite, and it is going to be a goal. It's going to be a free kick to Everton over on this near side. But yeah, that was good from David Raya, wasn't it? It was a good take from that cross, and he came and got that very, very confidently. And I say maybe that's one of the reasons why he's in the team for this particular game, because Everton are going to put crosses in when they get the chance. They're going to put set pieces into the box, and it's important that Raya can command that 6-yard box, which sometimes Ramsdale hasn't done, has he, enough? And that's a significant reason as to why I believe the change was made today as opposed to any of the previous games. But anyway, Arsenal in possession now over on the far side with Fabio Vieira, plays it back to Gabriel. Now it's with William Saliba. Gabriel gets it back again. Puts a long ball up his near side, but it's not a good ball. Dwight McNeil is able to cut that out. Oh, that's good play midfield there from Abdoulaye Doucouré. He's having a run towards the edge of the penalty. Is he going to go into the box? He goes into the box. He goes down under a half-hearted challenge there from Declan Rice. It's not a penalty. Everton fans behind the goal were appealing. But anyway, Everton have picked the ball up again. This is a bit of a sloppy play from Arsenal. A shot comes in from distance there from Danjuma. It's blocked, and suddenly Everton now have got a little bit of momentum going. That shot comes in, and David Raya made his first save from Idrissa Gueye, and it was a comfortable save down to his right-hand side. Good run there from Doucouré into the area, and it was actually William Saliba that made the challenge, pulled out of the challenge, and Doucouré's gone down. Russ wants a booking there for Doucouré. You can't ask for a booking, otherwise you get booked yourself. That's the new rules, isn't it? So I think diving is different. He was running with the ball. He's cut inside. William Saliba put his leg out and then took it away. I mean, he's kind of, there's a slight little bit of contact. He's gone down very easily, I agree. I don't necessarily think I wouldn't say that's necessarily a dive. I think there's a minimal amount of contact. It's definitely not a penalty. I'm not sure it's a dive, actually, myself, personally. I just think he's just gone over because he's felt a little touch. Nick Neck says they're not sure it was an actual dive. No, it wasn't. You can see a dive when there's no contact at all. There was a slight contact there, not enough for a penalty, but I don't think it was a dive either. It was just when you're running at pace and you get slightly knocked, you're going to fall over, right? Now it's difficult to keep your balance. Now we've got a free kick now in a dangerous area. Martin Odegaard on his near side whips it into the near post, but it's headed away by was it Dwight McNeil? No, it wasn't Dwight McNeil. I think it might be Tarkowski, actually. Anyway, it's going to be a throw to Arsenal this time. No, I agree with Nick there. I don't think it wasn't an actual dive. No, he's gone down very easily, but going down easy and it being a dive, having some contact, it's difficult sometimes, isn't it, to know exactly which one it was. But for me, that wasn't a dive. And Ben White with his throw for Arsenal, it's not a great throw. Actually, it's gone behind for a goal kick. Is looking for Martin Odegaard. Anyway, it's a goal kick there to Everton, which Jordan Pickford is going to take. We have played 32 and a half minutes. And it's been mostly Arsenal possession, but very little goal scoring opportunities, although we did have the ball in the net, of course, with Gabriel Martinelli's effort, which was ruled out for offside. And Everton have just got back into the game a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so. They've had one or two brighter moments. They did have a shot, of course, from Idrissa Gueye, which gave David Raya his first save to make in an Arsenal shirt, and he's had to claim a cross as well. So far, so good from the new Arsenal goalkeeper. Nick Neck says feels like Arsenal have lost a little bit of momentum. Yeah, I think in the last 5 minutes we have. But games go like that, don't they? You know, even Man City don't dominate possession for 90 minutes today. So there's always going to be spells where a team drops off slightly and the other team gets a spell in the game. It always happens, doesn't it? And maybe this is, we've just dropped off a little bit in the last few minutes. But, that happens, doesn't it? The important thing is that we don't concede a goal in those moments when Everton do have a spell on top, which they will get. We just have to make sure we don't concede in those moments, don't we? Which so far we haven't looked like conceding, let's be honest. Bukayo Saka now on his near side. Again, you're going to try and have a run at Mikalenko. Does well, Bukayo Saka. That's a good ball into Eddie Nketiah. Just touches it off to Declan Rice. Back out to Zinchenko running at that Everton defence. Tried to play the ball in, but looking for the run of Trossard. But Trossard stopped his run and the ball's run through to Jordan Pickford. We're coming up to the last 10 minutes of the first half. Not a lot of goal-scoring action to talk about, really, is there? Not a lot of goal-scoring action at all. But it's just been, I don't know, I'd say 80% Arsenal possession, probably. Not sure if that's actual the stats, but anyway, I'm sure we'll find out at half-time. But it's been mostly Arsenal possession, but we've not really stretched the Everton defence too much so far, have we? Anyway, Everton looking to try to come forward over on that far side. I wasn't able to. and that long ball forward. As in fact, there's an injury now to Fabio Vieira as well, who's gone down. Looks to be in a bit of pain actually. The young Portuguese, not quite sure what happened there. He came in and he was just brushed aside there by Beto. He's going to be fine. It was just a little blow to the face. But I think they're always going to they're going to maybe target they're going to target him a little bit, aren't they? Fabio Vieira. He's not known for his physicality, is he? Let's be honest. And there wasn't much wrong with that challenge, really. It was just an arm within his face. So Martinelli's back sitting on the bench again, so he must have had some treatment for whatever it was his injury was, and hopefully he's going to be fine, isn't he? Nick Nack says a bump on the nose. He's just making a meal of it. Well, he got a bit of a whack, didn't he? But yeah, that they're going to probably target Vieira a little bit, aren't they? They probably look on him as being not quite so physically strong. This is a good play from Arsenal, actually. Again, Martin Odegaard, though, he was robbed there by Decore, who's actually, I think Decore has been Everton's best player. Saka's gone down injured, though, on the back of that challenge. And this is what we kind of knew Everton would do. They're going to be in our face. They're going to make tackles. And we've already lost Martinelli, and Fabio Vieira just had some treatment, and now Bukayo Saka. But it was a late challenge, actually, there from Mykolenko off the ball. Actually, that should maybe be a yellow card. That should be a yellow card. Not sure if it's going to become a yellow card. I don't know if the referee actually saw it. It was off the ball, just after Bukayo Saka laid the ball off. Mykolenko came in, wiped him out. Mykolenko's sort of protesting his innocence, so he can't really have too many complaints if he did get a booking. Nick Nack says late challenge, but not a large amount of contact, fortunately. No, it wasn't a large amount of contact, you're right. But how many times have we seen players booked for those type of challenges? But anyway, it was a drop ball. Everton were in possession, and now it's gone behind. It's going to be a throw to Everton on this near side, round about halfway, which Mykolenko is going to take. His battle with Bukayo Saka has become quite interesting in this game, hasn't it? In the last sort of 10 minutes or so, they've had a couple of kind of moments together, haven't they? Anyway, Beto's trying to battle his way through, but that's good defending from William Saliba, and then not a great clearance from Ben White, but Mykolenko's put it behind for a throw to Arsenal on this near side, just up from where the Arsenal fans are along this near touchline at Goodison Park. Hopefully when they move to the new stadium, they'll give the away fans a section behind the goal, because it's much better behind the goal, isn't it, for atmosphere, and we'll have a better view of the game, really, I suppose. But anyway, bit of scrappy play there in midfield results in another throw to Arsenal, which Ben White again is going to take. Looks for Martin Odegaard. Maybe Arsenal just took it a little bit too quickly. They would have managed to pick the ball up again with Abdoulaye Decore. I remember when he joined Everton, I was quite keen on Arsenal to maybe try to get him, because he is a very good player, and so far today he's just proven that, isn't he, with great energy in midfield. Anyway, it's a free kick to Everton now on this near side, which Dwight McNeil is going to take. And Everton have got a chance to get the ball in the box for not many opportunities they've had in this first half. We've played 38.5 minutes. It is still 0-0, but this is a free kick opportunity for Everton to get that ball whipped into the penalty. Instead, he just goes square, actually, to Ashley Young. Now, it does go long in towards the Arsenal penalty area. Good header away there from Gabriel, and now Arsenal may have a counter-attacking opportunity. Leandro Trossard on this near side does well, plays the ball in field to Zinchenko, but he took too long, and Everton have picked the ball up again, trying to put Arsenal on a bit of pressure. It was Onana there. That's a good ball out there. Now it's back into Dwight McNeil, tries a shot from distance, but it's a block there from Gabriel on the edge of the Arsenal penalty. Now we can break forward with Fabio Vieira. Eddie Nketiah's off on a run. Vieira didn't play the ball. Kept possession, though, Fabio Vieira. And now Zinchenko twists and turns, plays the ball back to Gabriel. Now it's back with Fabio Vieira. This time he does play an early ball long over to this near side. Bukayo Saka's in a lot of space. Mykolenko's come across again. Saka's cuts inside. He's going to think about a shot. He's gone very central now. Lays the ball off to Martin Odegaard. Now it's with Declan Rice. Plays it to Ben White over on this near side. Tried to go around the outside, but was blocked off. The ball comes back to Declan Rice. This is good pressure now from Arsenal as we looked into the last 5 minutes of his first half. Ben White have a shot. and it's straight into the arms of goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Not known for his goal scoring, is he, Ben White? Just 2 goals he's got for Arsenal. Looking for another one there, shot from the edge of the box, but it was always going to be a comfortable save from Jordan Pickford. But at least it's a shot at goal for Arsenal. We've not had too many, have we, in this first half? So that was good to see. And Everton have just given the ball away again in possession. They've been really, really poor, Everton, in this first half. They've not had the ball much, so they need to keep possession better because it's very difficult, isn't it? It's very, very difficult if you haven't got the ball. So from Everton's perspective, they need to keep the ball better. But obviously that's good news for Arsenal because they're going to get tired, aren't they, if they carry on chasing as they have had to do. And it's going to be good news for us, isn't it, as we look to get this breakthrough. We've played 40 minutes now, nearly 41 minutes. There'll be a bit of stoppage time, won't there? There's been that injury to Martinelli. There's been a couple of other little injuries as well. And of course, there was that VAR check for the goal, which always adds on a couple of minutes, doesn't it? Even though that was quite a quick one for a change. It wasn't quite quick enough for me not to play the 1-0 to the Arsenal song. But anyway, hopefully we'll get a chance to play that again later on in this game, hopefully very soon. But anyway, at the moment, it is still Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on this traditionally difficult fixture for Arsenal. But we've certainly played pretty well in this first half, actually. We dominated the game. We just haven't really had enough goal scoring opportunities. But we're going to come forward now again with Gabriel, back with William Saliba. He goes long this time up this near side again, looking for Saka, but that wasn't a great ball. It's headed away by Mikalenka, but only as far as Ben White. Now it's with Declan Rice. Not seen as much of the ball in the last 10-15 minutes, Declan Rice, as he did in the early stage of this game, but he's gone round one challenge there, finds Ben White on this near side. Ben White dinks the ball into Saka, gets it back again at Declan Rice, and it goes square to Zinchenko. Is he going to try a shot from distance? No, he plays it out wide instead to Leandro Trossard. Not had much of the ball, has he, Trossard, since he came on? But he's done well there. Zinchenko inside the box. He needs to lay the ball off. He does to Gabriel. That's back with Trossard again on that near side. Gabriel again gets it back. Arsenal moving the ball around quickly, but not really making any inroads in behind that Everton defence. They've got everybody behind the ball pretty much, Everton. Gabriel now, they have a little bit of space over on that far side, finds Fabio Vieira. Now it's with Declan Rice, plays it square. Ben White touches it off to Zinchenko, very central, gets it back again. Ben White, Saka now. Martin Odegaard's made a run off him. Instead, he goes back again to Ben White, plays it to Zinchenko. Again, Arsenal a little bit too intricate on the edge of the penalty area, and Everton can clear the ball away, but not for long because Arsenal won it back. Fabio Vieira does well. He's had a decent half, Fabio Vieira, actually. Now Arsenal coming forward again. Eddie Nketiah keeps possession, lays it back to Declan Rice, plays it square to Ben White. He's had a good first half as well. Nick Nack says this first half has probably gone exactly how Dyche wanted it to. Yeah, maybe you're right. It probably has, because we've had a lot of possession, and I'm sure they were planning for that. And they've kept it very tight. We're not getting in behind, and we've only had really 1 or 2 opportunities, goal scoring opportunities, haven't we? So yeah, you're probably right. It probably is. I think Dyche would have wanted them to have maybe had a few more set pieces in our half of the field. That would have probably been part of his plan, I would imagine. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be reasonably satisfied, won't he, with the first half of Everton. They've worked hard defensively. They've not shown any ambition coming forward yet. But, you know, maybe things will change in the second half. I don't know. But anyway, Zinchenko now plays the ball over the top. It's a good ball, actually, looking for Fabio Vieira in behind. Plays it in. Oh, he tried to find Eddie Nketiah, but the ball got deflected away. And now Everton can break forward themselves with Beto. And he's won a throw there off Zinchenko over on that far side. Fabio Vieira there almost creating another goal. He's had 2 assists in the last 2 games. It might have been an offside there, actually. Not really sure if that would be given as offside. It was a lovely play there from Vieira, but a pullback was blocked by Bramthwaite, I think it was. And Everton cleared it away. Nick Neck says there, 2 bags of 4 is tough to break down, but something that title contenders need to be able to do. Exactly, yeah. Of course, you know, we can't expect teams just to sit back and allow us to play. That's not going to happen, is it? We've got to, you know, Man City find a way, don't they, in these sort of games? And we've got to find a way as well. You know, we've got plenty of time still. We're in the last 30 seconds of normal time. Russ says there, yeah, it is a reincarnation of Flair, but can't shoot, won't shoot. Yeah, maybe that's true actually to a certain extent. Maybe you're right. He's got himself into one or two decent positions, hasn't he, in this game? Terry says there, why didn't he shoot? Yeah, exactly. We were just saying that ourselves. Why didn't he shoot? He got himself into a great position. He could have tried a shot, but instead he tried to pull it back. I mean, that's sort of Arsenal's way of playing now, isn't it? I suppose when you think about it. And it was going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's been quite a frustrating first half. It's been a lot of Arsenal possession, but as we said, very little actual goal scoring opportunities for Arsenal. In fact, there's been just really two that I can think of, which was Vieira's shot into the Gladys Street end, and of course the goal from Martinelli that got disallowed. So yeah, not enough of that from Arsenal, but everything else has been pretty good, hasn't it? We've looked solid. We've dominated possession, but yeah, we've not created anywhere near enough, have we? Nick Nack says there, for all Arsenal's possession, it's 3 shots on goal to 1 on target. Both. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's been a problem, hasn't it? You know, Everton are coming forward again now on this near side. Cross comes into the box. A little bit of space. A shot comes in. It's blocked. Deflected. And Arsenal don't really clear it away. Mikalenko now plays the ball back to Anana. And that's a poor ball, actually, which Trossard will cut out. And now Arsenal can try and launch a counter-attack. But he took too long there, Trossard. Or, in fact, he was fouled. And it's a yellow. The first yellow card of the game, actually, in the final few minutes of this first half. It was Ashley Young there with the foul there on Trossard as he tried to play the ball away. In fact, he'll claim he maybe won the ball, but you can't go through the back of a player like that and not expect to get a yellow card. A player of Ashley Young's experience should know that. To be fair play to Ashley Young. 38, still playing in the Premier League. You've got to take your hat off to him, actually. So, yeah, well done to him. Anyway, Arsenal trying to come forward again, but that long ball is just going to go all the way through to Jordan Pickford. We've played nearly 3 of the 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's looking very, very much as though it's going to be goalless at the break and not too many goal-scoring opportunities at either end to be discussing, really, is it? The big talking point, of course, is that offside goal from Gabriel Martinelli, which it was offside. So there's not really much to discuss on that either, really, is there, I suppose. Anyway, Everton are now coming forward in the final few moments of this first half, but we've actually won the ball back. Trossard did well, and we are now into the light. In fact, there's another Arsenal player gone down injured inside at the centre circle. Arsenal going to play on that or not, because Ben White's just kicked it out for a throw. It's actually William Saliba there, a slight knock on his head. Must have just been in that because he went for the ball there. It's just an arm off by Beto, not too much there. Don't know what William Saliba was doing there. Wasn't really much in that, was there? He's made himself look a bit of an idiot. We look at the replay, but anyway, we're going to get a little bit more stoppage time now, aren't we? As we count down, we have played the 4 minutes now. Nick Nack says bring Jesus on would help. Potentially it might do. Yeah, he's got a good goal scoring record against Everton, hasn't he, by all accounts? So we'll see whether or not that happens. I don't think it'll happen at half time. But it certainly is bound to happen in the second half if it's still 0-0, isn't it? He's going to come on at some stage, you would imagine. Anyway, Ben White now in possession for Arsenal finds Declan Rice. Probably been our best player again in this first half, hasn't he, Dec? As we expect him to be. That's a good ball over on that far side. Arsenal coming forward now. Again, it's with Fabio Vieira, who's played well. Twisting and turning. Can he get across? And he does get across in. He's going to find Ben White on the edge of the Everton penalty. Plays it back again to Declan Rice. Ben White gets it back again. We have played the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Arsenal have got a throw. In fact, I don't think we're going to get a chance to take this throw. Has a half-time whistle gone yet? We've played... I know, we've just come up to the 4 minutes now, so I can't count, can I? Anyway, Arsenal are in possession now, but not for long. Everton do get the ball clear. And then Bukayo Saka commits a foul. And, in fact, there goes a half-time whistle, I believe. That is half-time. And it is Everton 0, Arsenal 0. A half of very, very few goal-scoring opportunities, it has to be said. And 0-0 is, you know, probably the fair score. Russ says, lack of penetration, I'll take Nketiah off. Yeah, I mean, I think we all would take Eddie Nketiah off and get Jesus on. But I'm sure Arteta won't do that straight away at half time, will he? But yeah, a lack of penetration is a good way to put it. I mean, we've had a lot of possession. I'm just going to find out exactly what the possession is in a minute. But anyway, Terry says there, all that possession again and nothing to show for it. Yeah, exactly. That's the way it's been. I think they said had a feeling this would be a game with a few chances. Yeah, it was always going to be tight, wasn't it? It was always going to be a tight game. I was a little bit more worried about them having more opportunities from set pieces, which they haven't done. It doesn't mean they won't, but obviously at this moment in time they haven't. But yeah, I think you're right. So let's have a look at the actual stats then, shall we, from that first half? And we'll have a look and see exactly what we've made of it. So possession, 78% possession for Arsenal, so 22 for Everton. Yeah, I mean, there you go. I was thinking up by the 80s, so that wasn't far off, was it? There's been 4 shots from Everton, actually, and only 3 from Arsenal, which is quite unusual, isn't it? But 1 each on target. Everton have had no corners, and Arsenal have had 3. So, yeah, not really a lot to talk about in that game, was there, really, unfortunately, in terms of goal mouth action, anyway. But anyway, we'll see what the second half brings. Hopefully, it will bring a little bit more excitement, shall we say? Because certainly that first half wasn't really up to much, was it? In terms of goal mouth action, only 1 yellow card though, which was of course Ashley Young was the only yellow card, wasn't it? And of course Arsenal had to make that change, didn't they? When Gabriel Martinelli had to go off and Trossard had to come on. That was midway through that first half, wasn't it? But other than that, not an awful lot to report on, is there, from that first half? A typical game at Goodison Park, really, isn't it? When Arsenal visit against Everton, it tends to be. We've had a lot of games like this over the years, haven't we? Between the sides, difficult to to tell the difference sometimes. You know, you think back, games at Goodison Park, and they're all very similar, aren't they? And this one in that first half has been, I say, very similar to previous ones. But it is half time. There's 45 minutes still to play. Let's hope we can find an extra gear, maybe. I just feel as though our play in that final third again is lacking a little bit of, I wouldn't say quality, but it's just lacking a little bit of intensity, maybe, in that final third sometimes. Terry says, is it me or has Ødegaard gone missing in that first? So he didn't get involved as much as we would have hoped he would have. No, you're right. Maybe he's still thinking of how much he was bullied on this ground last season. I'm not sure. Nathan says, Rice, best player on the pitch. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Would you change anything? It's all in front of Everton. How do you get it behind? Well, yeah, no, you're right. It has all been in front of Everton, and that's what Everton would have wanted. How do we change that? Well, maybe we need to move the ball quicker in that final third and be less predictable. You know, you could almost see what we were going to do all the way through that first half. And if we can see it from watching it, obviously the Everton players will know. Sean Dyche would have figured it out as well. I think we just need to be a little bit more unpredictable sometimes when we're coming forward, instead of trying the same things all the time, which is getting the ball wide to Saka, trying to get it out to that far side. Vieira's made some good runs out there, hasn't he? And yeah, I don't know, just maybe shoot more is an option, isn't it? Maybe shoot more. I don't know, but yeah, we need to do more to pull their defence apart, because they're so organised, aren't they? They're making it difficult for us to get through. We need to change that by moving the ball quicker and pulling them out. But Everton aren't going to do that either. They're quite happy to sit and make it hard for us. But yeah, you're right about Declan Rice. Mark C says hoping to see ESR get a run out. I think he will. Not sure. He's not played any minutes at all in the Premier League, has he, so far this season? I'm not sure we're going to see him, if I'm honest. Be nice, but I'm not expecting it. Nick Next says that's where Jesus would help. I think, yeah, potentially he will. I think Eddie Nketiah is good. He's not so good against this sort of low block, is he? He's never that good against teams like that. So maybe this game wasn't really suited for him in the first place. And yeah, maybe Jesus will be the man to open it up. I wouldn't see Theo Walcott in the studio. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Theo Walcott actually on the telly. Now he's retired from playing. He played for Arsenal, whatever, didn't he? Very underrated player, I thought he was. Terry says, get Havertz on as we play better with 10 men. Oh dear. Regina says, no, Odegaard was not missing, but marked when we were full. Yeah, no, but you see, but this is the point, isn't it? What are Everton supposed to not mark him? Of course they're going to mark him, aren't they? What Odegaard's got to do, like all top players do, you've got to find a way to deal with that better. You've got to be able to influence the game. And this has always been, my thing with Martin Odegaard. He's a very, very talented football player. There's absolutely no question about that. He's a brilliant football player. But sometimes he doesn't influence games enough in the difficult away games in particular. At the Emirates, when we're winning 3-0, he runs the show and he's brilliant and everybody loves to see that. But that's all fair enough. But in these difficult away games, for me, he doesn't often enough rose to the occasion, has he? Last season, maybe 1 or 2 away games that I thought he really rode. Newcastle was one. But there's not been too many, has there, where he's done that in these type of games away from home. So, yes, he's been marked tightly. Of course he has. Saka gets marked by 2 players every single game, but Saka's still able quite often to have an impact and be influential in our play. Martin Odegaard today hasn't really, has he? He's not had any impact at all. And the fact that Declan Rice, again, as he has been most of the season, Declan Rice has become our best player in midfield, hasn't he? Well, probably our best player in the team, but certainly our best midfield player by an absolute country mile, hasn't he? Odegaard needs to do more for me. He does. He needs to do more. Nathan says here, maybe try and overload one flank and try and switch it quickly. Yeah, but the one thing with Arteta is he doesn't change too much in the way that he plays. He's very, very rigid, isn't he? And he won't change too much. So I don't think we'll change a lot tactically, really. I don't think we'll. Maybe some personnel changes, not at half time, but certainly later on. I think maybe we might well see, as we said, Jesus come on. And Smith Rowe being mentioned. Do we think Smith Rowe will come on? I'm not convinced that he will, actually. I'm really not convinced that he will, but we'll see. We definitely need to move that ball quicker in and around the box, don't we? Sometimes we've been a little bit too intricate as well, I feel. We've done 1 or 2 extra passes where maybe we only needed to do 1 pass. We've done 2 or 3 passes, stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing that we do need to do. But anyway, let's see what happens in the second half. There's still plenty of time, of course, plenty of time. Regenda says that he has had more touches than any other player. Declan made a mistake, which ended with Everton attacking. Well, yeah, of course, every single player makes mistakes in a game. You won't find a game where a player doesn't make any mistakes. They'll always make a mistake, whether it's positionally on the pitch, whether it's a poor pass, whether it's a wrong decision in shooting instead of passing or passing instead of shooting. Every single player is going to make a mistake. It's the influence that they have on the game. And Martin Odegaard may well have had the most touches of the ball, but what have those touches led to? Nothing. Just simple possession, keeping possession of the ball. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he's not influenced the game. Declan Rice, when he's had the ball, he's always looked to pass the ball forward. He's always looking to try and move the attack forward. Martin Odegaard's just literally keeping possession of the ball. And that's why Declan Rice has had more impact in this game than Declan Rice has. He's had more influence on the way that we're playing, and he's had more impact in the game, which is great. It's great that Declan is doing that, and it's brilliant to see. But we need more from Martin Odegaard in that respect as well, because the midfield is so important. Declan can't do it all on his own, as good as he is. We may have paid 100 million for him, which is the price of 2 players, but he is still only 1 player, and he can't be expected to always do the job of 2 players. He's got to be helped out more. And yes, I'm not saying Martin Odegaard's had a bad game. What I'm saying is he hasn't influenced the game enough for a player of his talent, his ability, the fact he's a captain of the team. He should be the one dictating the play. He should be influencing the way that we're playing, and he's not. Declan is, again, and it's not the first time this season that Declan has done that. And it's not the first time in a big away game that Martin Odegaard hasn't influenced play enough for us. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily criticising him specifically. I just don't feel as though he's really influenced the game at all in that first half. Almost as though had he not been playing, we wouldn't have known the difference. Whereas had Declan Rice not been playing, we would have clearly noticed the difference, wouldn't we? So that's kind of what I'm getting at, really. Jenna says, I believe Odegaard does move it forward quickly, but others around him are a little slower in playing. I mean, I'm not saying he does it all the time. Generally, he does move the ball forward quickly. Today, he hasn't really done that enough. He's got it, and he's moved it sideways, either side, hasn't he, to keep possession of the ball, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. We need to keep possession of the ball, but him as a creative player in a tight game, you need your creative players to create stuff, to create chances. Fabio Vieira has created more opportunities than Martin Odegaard has today. And Fabio Vieira has got himself into better positions to influence the attacking play than Martin Odegaard has today. And Declan Rice, his passing has been a lot more influential in the way that we play in that first half than Martin Odegaard has. I'd say out of our three midfielders today, Martin Odegaard's probably been the least effective out of the three in that first half. And we wouldn't have been expecting that, would we? We'd have certainly been expecting Fabio Vieira to have had the least impact. And he hasn't. And Martin Odegaard needs to step it up in the second half. He does. He needs to have more influence on the game. And if he does that, then we've got a much better chance of winning. Because we said at the start, didn't we? The midfield battle was where this game was going to probably be won and lost. We've had the better of it in that first half to a certain degree in terms of being on the ball. But we haven't been able to have that creativity to break this Everton defence down, have we? And that's where Martin Odegaard has to be key, because that's his strength, isn't it? He's a creative player, and we need to see him to become creative. He's not created one opportunity in that first half. Fabio Vieira has created two best opportunities in the game. So, you know, that's kind of what I mean in there, really. I think that says Declan helps with winning the ball back quickly when possession is lost, but can't expect him to be the one unlocking it. No, exactly. But I think Declan Rice's passing has been progressive all through that first half. He's always been trying to pass it forward. He's been getting the ball wide quickly, and I think his all-round play has been great. And you're right, he's winning the ball as well, which is so important, especially in a game like this. And he's not got ball winners around him, so he's having to do it a lot, isn't he? So his impact in this game was probably always going to be greater anyway, just because of the nature of the game. We just want to see Martin have more impact on our attacking play, create some opportunities, have shots at goal, stuff like that, what he's good at. Russ says I've just read the deliberate play definition. We have been royally screwed. Don't worry, we'll get an apology after the match. Deliberate play, I don't understand what you mean by deliberate play. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Every single action in a game is deliberate, isn't it? A player is, they're trying to win the ball or pass the ball. That's a deliberate action, isn't it? Every single thing that anybody does, a tackle, a foul, it's a deliberate action, isn't it? They're human beings that are playing a sport. Everything that they do is a deliberate action, isn't it? It's not an accident, is it? You don't kick the ball by accident. You kick the ball because you're deliberately trying to pass the ball to your teammate, or you're deliberately trying to have a shot or put a cross in. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand what you mean by deliberate play. It makes no sense. Every single part of play is deliberate, isn't it? But anyway, the goal's been disallowed. I think it was the right decision. And anyway, an apology afterwards is a bit silly, isn't it? Vajendra says Vieira missed a quick pass forward and had to pass. But but again, you see, every single player isn't going to get every single decision right in the game, are they? It's impossible. Even the best players in the world, even Messi and Ronaldo and Mbappe and Haaland, all these. Look at Haaland yesterday. He's the greatest goal scorer of modern times. He could end up becoming the greatest goal scorer of all time. He probably missed 3 or 4 chances yesterday. He misses 3 or 4 chances every game. It doesn't mean he's not the greatest goal scorer in the history of world football, does it? Not every single player is not going to get every single action right. And Vieira, he did miss a forward pass. I remember the one you meant, and he did go backwards when he could have passed it forward. I think it was when Martinelli was still on. And you're right. But every player is going to not always make the right decisions every single time. It doesn't mean they're having a bad game or a good game. It just means that happens. Even the players that have the best games still do that, don't they? So, but I think Vieira has created the goal that was disallowed. He created that other opportunity that we should have done better with. He had a shot himself. He's had more impact on our attacking play in this game in that first half than anybody else, even Declan Rice in terms of the attacking sense. I think Rice has had more impact in our play. But yeah, everyone's going to make mistakes. Like Jen says, Trossard too wide and needs to swap with Eddie. I mean, yeah, Trossard's another one. He's had very little impact since he came on. And I know sometimes it's more difficult coming off the bench than it is starting a game. You've got to adjust to the pace of the game or something like that. But he's had very, very little influence, hasn't he? He had one little run he had, which was good. But other than that, yeah, he's not had any impact at all. And you're right, we need to get Trossard more in the game because Trossard's an influential player, isn't he? And he can be the sort of player to unlock a defence like Everton's. So yeah, we need more from him as well. Absolutely, we definitely need more from Trossard. Whether that's adjusting his position or whether it's just getting him more on the ball, I'm not really sure. But we need to get him. He needs to have more influence on the game, doesn't he? Without a shadow of a doubt. So we'll see what happens in this second half. The teams are coming out now. Nick Nack says. What's key is not being afraid to make mistakes. The more progressive a pass is, the more likely it will be intercepted. Simple passes are easy. No, exactly. I agree with what I'm saying. Yeah, it's easy to keep possession with a simple pass, and that's great for your stats. 100% pass success, wherever it is. Yeah, but you've got to win games. You've got to take chances. You've got to take risks. You've got to try a difficult ball, and yeah, you might get cut out sometimes, but at least you've got to keep trying it, haven't you? Rajendra says, so be positive and back our players and we will score. Increase the like. Yeah, you need to increase. Of course, everyone needs to give it a like and then we will score. Absolutely. Anyway, we're back off and underway at Goodison Park. Everton it is to kick off. They are attacking the Gladys Street Road end, which is the end to our right in this second half. And Arsenal will be attacking a goal to our left, which is the corner where the Arsenal fans are. No changes to personnel for either side. And Arsenal straight away coming forward. Saka's ball up his near side. Straight away, Trossard gets involved, which is good to see. Zinchenko's gone on the overlap. Zinchenko digs across into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out by Bramthwaite, I think it was, but only as far as Gabriel. And Arsenal started the second half on the front foot, as we were for much of that first half as well, but unable to find that breakthrough. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 into the first minute of the second half. Zinchenko now tries to dink a ball over the top, looking for Fabio Vieira. Plays it across the box. Nobody there. It's come all across to Saka. Tried to get it back across to Eddie Nketiah. It was cut out well, actually, there by, I think that was Bramthwaite as well. But Arsenal still in possession. Now, shot comes in. Good save from Pickford. Fabio Vieira with a shot into the crowd again. And it was Martin Ødegaard there, had that first shot, produced a save. That's what we mean, you see. He's got the ability to do that, hasn't he? And straight away at the start of the second half, it was Vieira's cross initially. Lovely ball across the 6-yard box. Nobody there. Saka's cross was then cut out by Bramthwaite. And then Declan Rice played it into Ødegaard. He got a shot away inside the area. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper, maybe. A decent save from Pickford. And then Fabio Vieira lashed that shot high over the crossbar. Nick Nack says there, hopefully Everton will come out more as the half goes on. Maybe, I think they'll take a draw though, won't they? Nick Nack says this is more like it. Yeah, it's been a positive start. Whoa, was that a foul there by William Saliba there on Beto? Is it going to be a yellow card? Potentially. The referee, Simon, who was Gabriel, Gabriel protesting his innocence there. But he's got himself a yellow card, Gabriel, the first Arsenal player to be booked. It was Beto, it was there. And yeah, I don't think he can have too many complaints about that, really, can he? Beto's gone to run past him and he's just body checked him. So yeah, pretty easy yellow card that was there for the referee. Terry says, Eddie just standing still. Great cross from Fabio. It was a great cross from Fabio. Absolutely brilliant cross. Needed someone to attack it, didn't it? Get in that 6-yard box. And Eddie didn't. And then when the second cross came in from Saka, again, Eddie was on his heels, wasn't he? This is a free kick to Everton. This is where they are dangerous. It's midway inside the Arsenal half, slightly over on this near side. Ashley Young it is. Delivers the ball. It wasn't a great free kick, actually. Arsenal made a bit of a mess of clearing it. It's come to Decore over on that far side. Everton now enjoying their first little bit of possession, really, in this second half. That's a long ball played over towards that far side. Is it going to come all the way through? It's not, because the referee's given a free kick. It was a foul there on Ben White by Anana, I think it was. And it is going to be a free kick there to Arsenal. We've played, 3 minutes of the second half. It is still Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal did come out really flying at the start of the second half with a good opportunity there for Martin Ødegaard and Fabio Vieira on a follow-up. But They've been able to find this breakthrough. In terms of Everton coming out more in the second half, I think the only time Everton will come out more is if we score. And they'll have to try and attack us there, won't they, to try and get back in the game. I think while it's 0-0, I think Everton will be happy if it finishes 0-0. I really do. I think they'll be more than happy with that. So I can't see them taking too many risks unless or until we score. That's a ball out there. Good ball over on that far side. Bukayo Saka, a little bit of space for him. Plays the ball into the box to Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard tries to go around the outside. He's tackled by Branthwaite. Keeps possession though. Martin Odegaard finds Ben White. Ben White plays it into Saka, trying to twist away from the defence. Good defending again, though, from Everton. Now Declan Rice plays the ball in to Martin Odegaard. Nice ball from him to Zinchenko. Is he going to try a shot from outside the box? He does. Hits the defender, Tarkowski, and Everton managed to just about clear the ball away. Arsenal pressing high up the pitch with Vieira. He's had a good game today so far. Fabio Vieira, you have to say. Trossard cuts out of that ball. It's a throw to Everton. Nick Neck says their free kick there doesn't help much. Just allows all the Everton players to get back into position. Yeah, no, you're right, exactly. Little hint of a handball there from Tarkowski as he blocked that shot. His arms were by his side. Don't really want to see penalties for that, though, let's be honest. Even if it is in our favour, we don't really want to see penalties given for that, do we? Anyway, David Raya there. And a little bit of pressure with his feet, but again, nice and calm, lovely little ball. And Arsenal now looking to come forward with Gabriel up his near side. It's gone out, though, for a throw to Arsenal, which Zinchenko is going to take on this near side. Throws it back to Gabriel. We've played 50 minutes here at Goodison Park on what could well be Arsenal's last ever visit here to this famous old stadium. This has been one of the most played, in fact, I think it is the most played league fixture in English football. The first meeting was in 1905. That was here at Goodison Park. We've played, I think, 225 times or something. Arsenal ever have played each other. We've won nearly half of those games, actually, but not too many here in recent years, as we said before. A famous old fixture. It's two of the biggest names in English football, of course, Everton and Arsenal. It's been a long time since Everton have really enjoyed any success. They've had a few years battling relegation. They've had a new takeover, haven't they, in the last this week, haven't they? They've had a new takeover. Arsenal coming forward now. Martin Odegaard plays the ball back to Zinchenko. Is he going to try a shot again? No. Plays up his near side to Trossard. Arsenal turning the screw. Trossard's done well. Good cross into the box. Heading away only as far though as Zinchenko again. Arsenal turning the screw. Nick Nack says there, Ray has not put a foot wrong so far. No, he hasn't. You're absolutely right. He hasn't had a lot to do. Let's be honest. It's been quite a comfortable game for him. But no, he's done everything he's needed to do very, very confidently, hasn't he? So can't have too many complaints at all about David Raya's performance. That's a poor ball forward there, though, from Zinchenko. Gone straight through to Jordan Pickford, who's not had enough to do. He's had to make one save at the start of the second half, and that's been it. He only made one save in that first half, didn't he? A lot more of a comfortable save from Ben White's effort. Everton now looking to come forward for a rare opportunity for them to get forward on this near side. This is nice play from Danjuma, but Arsenal deal with that pretty well. And Trossard now plays it in field, but Arsenal actually giving the ball away. A little bit sloppy there, actually, from Arsenal. And Everton have got possession again inside the centre circle. That ball's dinked out to that far side. Oh, that's a poor touch. Was that Mikalenko? Poor touch from him. And the ball's gone out for a throw, which Ben White's going to take over on that far side. Ball goes back again to David Raya. Nice control from him. He looks very comfortable when the ball's at his feet, doesn't he, David Raya? Sometimes you feel Aaron Ramsdale panics a little bit, doesn't he? Whereas Raya seems so calm. She's a good run this from Leandro Trossard. Running at the Everton defence is a great run from him. Plays the ball out to this near side to Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira just lays it off to Zinchenko. The momentum has come out of their attack a little bit, actually. Anyway, the ball's now played square to Declan Rice. Arsenal looking for this breakthrough. Bukayo Saka plays it back to Declan Rice. Now it's with Ben White over on that far side. Bukayo Saka now lines up across. Going to call right to the far post. It was Trossard put it back across the 6-yard box. Again, Eddie Nketiah was caught on his heels a little bit, and Everton's defence were able to scramble that ball. I think it was Tarkowski there. This is better from Arsenal second half. We're starting to create a few more opportunities, but not too many. Nick Nack says there, must be so dull watching, being an Everton fan and watching this week in, week out. It's Sean Dyche football, isn't it? What do you expect? I mean, it was all right at Burnley because Burnley wasn't expected to do very much other than stay up. I'm sure Everton fans have got slightly loftier ambitions than just staying up. I know that they need to, get some wins on the board. But, I mean, yeah, it's Sean Dyche football, isn't it? It isn't pretty. But so far, they've frustrated us. And that would have been the plan all along. And we need to find a way. We've got to rise above it, haven't we, and find a goal from somewhere. We've got a throw in at the moment again on this near side. And Nick Nack says that every time a last-ditch tackle is needed, Everton seem to find. Well, yeah, they do. That's commitment for you, isn't it? That's defensive commitment for you, and that's what Everton need to show, don't they, in games like this? And we've got to find a way to overcome that. And so far, we haven't. Fewest touches in this game, Eddie Nketiah with 8. Gabriel Martinelli only had 12, but he only played for 20 minutes, so we'll kind of let him off, really, especially as one of those touches was a goal that was disallowed. So he says that Eddie 8 touches. Yeah, exactly, 8 touches. That's bad, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. But anyway, Gabby Jesus is still sitting on the bench with his top and bib on. He's not looking like he's going to be coming on anytime soon. Zinchenko coming forward now, plays the ball to Declan Rice. To Bukayo Saka over on that far side. Back again to Declan Rice. And that's with Ben White. Declan Rice again. He's probably had the most touches, hasn't he? Declan Rice, I would say. They're saying who had the least touches. That's a long ball over the top. Trossard's in behind here on his near side. Leandro Trossard, what's the ball like? Across the 6-yard box, cleared away. Shot comes in, it's deflected. Fabio Vieira it was with the effort. Was deflected. Lovely play that was from Arsenal. Zinchenko this time with a great ball. And Trossard was probably onside. And a good play from Trossard. Got to the byline, played it across the 6-yard box. Cleared away though by Everton again. And then Vieira's shot was blocked away. But that was a great play again. It was Bramthwaite, I think, with the defending. He's done well, actually, Jared Bramthwaite, actually, forever. In fact, it wasn't offside given anyway, so it was offside against Trossard, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But it was nice play. And Everton just played a long ball forward, which is going to go behind for a goal kick to Arsenal. Just probably a good time, just to let you know, I am back on Talk TV after this game. Well, it'll be at 7:20 tonight. So join me for that if you can. Obviously discussing this game with Mark Saggers on Talk TV. So that's 7:20, around about then. The show will be on. So join me for that. Hopefully there'll be something a bit more to talk about, actually, in the remaining, 35 minutes that remain. But so far, not an awful lot to discuss in that show. It's going to be good anyway. I'm sure we'll be able to find some discussion points. That offside goal, obviously, will probably be the main one for the time being. But we'll see what happens in the rest of this game. But yeah, Talk TV, 7:20. I will be back on there again. I was after the Man United game as well. Nick Nack says, get Jesus on now. I can't disagree with you. I cannot disagree with you. Terry says there, Saka squeezed off the ball. Anyway, we're back in it again. Now Eddie's going to run through, is he? Eddie's shot there. Did he get a deflection? Is it another corner to Arsenal? I think it might well be. Arsenal there was a nice ball played through there. It was Martin Odegaard there to Eddie Nketiah inside the box. Took one touch away from the goal, and then the shot was blocked. But at least he got involved there, didn't he? But it's a corner to Arsenal again over on that far side. We're still not really coming much closer to this breakthrough, though, are we? 58 minutes played. Saka's corner into the near post. It's headed out. Comes as far as Martin Odegaard. Zinchenko It's took a deflection. It's gone behind. And it's another corner to Arsenal. Starting to turn at the screw now, are we, Arsenal? That's what we need to be doing. See if we can get this goal. Get this breakthrough. Arteta's having some discussions with Albert there on the touchline. Is he about to make a substitution, maybe? Is that what we're doing? Is it going to be a substitution? Anyway, this corner comes in short and low to Trossard. Saka's got off him for a better angle. He's played towards the edge of the box. A shot comes in, deflected from Zinchenko. The claiming handball. Was it inside the box? The referee is saying that VAR is going to deal with this. It was Zinchenko's shot. Let's have a look at the replay. This here, Zinchenko's shot there. It's hit Tarkowski. It was. Threw himself at it. I mean, it's just outside the area, I think, anyway. That's a more difficult one, isn't it? Is that more likely to be a handball? It looks like he's outside the area, actually. Nick says, surprised Tarkowski has never had a look in for England. I think I'm sure he's played for England, hasn't he? And it is a corner. I think that's his probably man of the match for Everton so far. He's played well. I think Branthwaite played well actually as well. Terry says that ain't no penalty. No. Nick Lex says seen them given. Nathan says not for me. No, I didn't think that was a penalty either. It's played outside the box. Zinchenko shot again. Another block from an Everton defender. That's what they've done all game. Zinchenko again plays out to this near side. Fabio Vieira dinks across towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Again, it's a header from Everton defender. Again, it was Branthwaite, and now Jordan and Pickford can pick that ball up. They have defended well, Everton, you have to say. They've not offered any threat going forward, but they are coming forward now over on that far side. And, you have to say they have defended well. Nick Neck says, you're right, is it two caps? Yeah, I seem to remember him playing for England at least once. I'm surprised when you think Harry Maguire gets picked every week, well, not every week, every game, every squad, and Tarkowski doesn't get to play for England, it does seem a bit strange, doesn't it? He's a very good defender, Tarkowski. He lacks some of the maybe ball playing skills of some of the other defenders that get picked for England, but he's a very good defender. And surely there's got to be room in any team for a good defender. But anyway, I agree with you. I'm surprised he hasn't played more times for England than he has. Maybe having a name like Tarkowski doesn't help, does it? Maybe Gareth Southgate thinks he's Polish or something like that. Nathan says, same as Lewis Dunk. Yeah, Lewis Dunk played the other night, didn't he? I thought he played quite well, actually. But he's another one, isn't he? Because, again, Lewis Dunk is a bit like Tarkowski, isn't he? He's a bit of an old school defender, isn't he? No bells and whistles about him. He's not the best on the ball in relation to some of the other defenders, but he's a great defender, isn't he? And to me, you need to have great defenders. If you're going to be successful, that's one of your keys, isn't it? Yeah, it's all very well having great footballing defenders who can play the ball out from the back, but you also need a defender who's going to win your headers and win your tackles and do all that sort of stuff, as good at all that sort of stuff. And maybe England have not always picked those type of defenders in more recent years, have they? It's more about the footballing defenders, and I'm not sure if that's always what you need. You need a mixture, don't you? I suppose that's what you need, don't you? I guess. Nick Nack says there, Ben White too, he's only had 4 caps. I think the Ben White issue is slightly different, isn't it? I think with Ben White, it's more, obviously he was picked for the World Cup squad and got sent home. Something happened there, didn't it? And whatever the reasons are, we don't know, do we? But I think that's more to do with that as opposed to his ability as a player or anything else like that. So I don't necessarily think, I think his circumstances are different. Anyway, Everton are making a substitution. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to be coming on. But anyway, Nathan says, very good at actually defending. Exactly, yeah. I want to see defenders who can defend. Maybe I'm a bit too old school, I don't know, but I want to see my defenders defend. If they're good on the ball as well, great. But that's not a priority for me. My priority for my defenders is to defend, win tackles, win headers, and do what you need to do as a defender to stop the other team scoring. Nick Nex says they're hampered by playing right back. Yeah, maybe you're right a little bit. I think maybe he's looked on maybe as a central defender. He's not playing as a central defender, so maybe that's why Southgate's not picking him as well. But I do think something happened at the World Cup, and I do think things have happened previously when he's been with the England squad. and that's why he's not getting picked as opposed to his footballing ability. The fact he can play centre back and right back makes him more versatile and more a better asset to a squad, isn't it? Because you've basically got two players in one. Anyway, Everton have got a free kick now, so this could be dangerous. Ashley Young is over it. His set piece delivery hasn't been great so far in this game. But anyway, he's about to take this free kick now for Everton. Midway inside Arsenal's half, very central. Dwight McNeil's now come across as well, but it's going to be Ashley Young. Chips that ball into the penalty area, headed out though by William Saliba, I think it was, who's now gone down injured inside the Arsenal penalty area. But we play on. I think the referee might stop the game now. Potential head injury is there. I think it's William Saliba who's gone down there, and the referee is pointing to his head. Was it Ben White actually? Actually, it's Gabriel. Just got a clump there from Tarkowski, and then he landed on him as well. It's actually Gabriel that's gone down, not William Saliba. And I think he's going to be okay anyway. He's back on. He's sitting up again anyway, which is the main thing. And I'm sure he's going to be okay. He might not even need any treatment, but the referee stopped the game. It was a head injury, and are Everton now going to make this substitution? Dominic Calvert-Lewin is coming on. He's got a Batman mask on. In fact, Gabriel Jesus is coming on as well. So there's going to be a double substitution in this game. The two centre forwards, the two number 9s are both coming on. At the same time, it's going to be Eddie Nketiah coming off for Arsenal midway through this second half. He's had very little influence in this game, Eddie Nketiah, and Jesus is on, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is coming on as well for Everton. So the two centre forwards, it's Beto who goes off for Everton. So the two substitutions there, Gabriel Jesus and Dominic Calvert-Lewin have come on, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin protecting that injury. He's got like a Zorro mask, I'll probably call it. Nick Nack says, every opportunity Everton have to stick the ball in the box, it's been a poor. Well, you're right, yeah. That's got to be their only hope of scoring a goal, and it's been really, really poor, isn't it? But now Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on, maybe they'll try to get more balls in the box because of how dangerous he is in those particular circumstances. And Everton have got a throw over on that far side. Terry says, Eddie off, Jesus on indeed. That is a substitution which I think we've all been kind of hoping for. We finally got it. So let's see if it is going to be Gabriel Jesus with his great goal scoring record against Everton. That can do it. Yeah, it's a long throw from Everton in towards the penalty. Again, it's headed out by Arsenal. Decore, he miskicked it, but the ball's fell. The shot comes in just over the crossbar there from Anana, I think. No, from Danjuma, sorry. From the edge of the area. It was a strange one, that, because Ben White's header, it looked like it was a volley there from Decore. He mishit it, but in the end, Calvert-Lewin laid it off to Danjuma, and his shot from the edge of the box went over the crossbar. And that's the first real shot of goal I think Everton have had in this second half. But now Arsenal coming forward themselves. Maybe the game will open up a bit more now as we move into the last 25 minutes. Oh, Saka just won the ball back well over on that far side. Did he keep it in or did it go behind? It's gone behind now. It is a corner to Arsenal again. We've certainly racking up the corners in this game, but we haven't so far been able to make any of them count. It is still Everton 0, Arsenal 0. We've played 67 minutes at Goodison Park. A game of very, very few chances. If we're being brutally honest, it's been quite a boring game overall. But there's still time for some drama. It's a short corner. Martin Odegaard now cuts in field, puts a cross into the edge of the 6-yard box. Again, one of the giant Everton defenders is there. In fact, it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin actually doing his defensive job, heads it back into safety, and Jordan Pickford, who now kicks it long into the Arsenal half. They're going to look for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, aren't they? As he's very good in the air. And I'm sure they're going to look for that outlet for them. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now with Bukayo Saka over on that far side. Gets past Mikalenko, but not past the covering defender. And the ball's gone behind. It's another corner to Arsenal. Bukayo Saka again causing some problems down that far side for Everton. Nick Nack says if there's a defence that can defend a corner, it's probably Everton. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of tall players, haven't they? I know we're maybe taller now than we were, but yeah, it's going to be difficult to score a goal from a corner against this Everton defence, isn't it? But anyway, we've got another corner here. So let's see if this is the moment for Arsenal. We played the last couple short. This one looks like it's going to be short again. Odegaard and Saka are both there. Again, it does go short. And Odegaard this time plays in a box to Vieira, lines up a shot, does he? Well, his first touch wasn't maybe good enough. Anyway, it's played out again to that far side. Now it's with Saka, pulls it back. Trossard shot. Oh, it's gone in. Arsenal have scored. It's Trossard, the substitute, off the bench with the goal. Saka made it. Trossard scored it. And finally. And I don't think there's much doubt about this one getting disallowed. So we are going to play. Saka pulled it back, and Trossard's first time shot. It was Trossard playing the ball out. Sorry, Zinchenko played the ball out. Saka pulled it back. Trossard shot crossed Jordan Pickford into the far corner. Very, very good finish from a difficult angle. It's Saka with the assist there. Lovely pullback. Trossard's first time shot going away from the goalkeeper. In off that far post, actually. Wow. Nick Nat says, finally, super finish. Terry says, get in there. And Terry says, Trossard, indeed. Trossard with the goal. Maybe a point to prove. Nick Nat says he hit it early before Pickford could set himself. He did, but it was so far across the goalkeeper into that far corner. I don't think Pickford would have saved it anyway. And with, 20 minutes to go, Arsenal do finally get that breakthrough. And are we about to end this poor run at Goodison Park without a victory? But Everton coming forward now. Ray is well out of his goal. Little juggle there and heads the ball out for a throw to Everton. That was quite funny there, wasn't it? Nathan says they picked up a nice pocket of space. Really nice finish. It was a really good finish, yeah. First time into that far corner. And Everton maybe switched off for the first time from that short corner. Looked like they must have felt they defended that well. And then suddenly it was a great ball from Zinchenko to Saka and a lovely pullback. And a brilliant finish from Trossard. Will we see more ambition from Everton now? I'm sure we will. Nick Mack says, yeah, didn't realise till I saw the replay how close to the post was. Yeah, it was right in off the post, wasn't it? I don't think any goalkeeper would have saved that. It looked as though he maybe put it wide, didn't it, at first? It was that far away from what looks like it's far away from the goal, but in the end, it just had enough, didn't it, to go in off that far post. Lovely finish. And Arsenal lead, but Everton suddenly now are showing a little bit more ambition. But that's a poor ball. And they're trying to pick it up again in midfield there with Idrissa Gueye, but Arsenal clear it away. And suddenly now Everton are wanting to get the ball forward a little bit quicker now. They were quite happy. And I said it would probably take a goal to do that, didn't I? And we've got the goal. But Everton now coming forward. Over on that far side, a shot comes in. Was it deflected by William Saliba by Mykolenko? It's going to be a corner to Everton. And this is their first corner of the game. And they did score from a corner against us last season, so we need to be careful here. That was just a long ball played forward. Mykolenko's touch took him wide, actually, but the shot was probably on target. And it was a good block, actually, from William Saliba. Put that behind for Everton's first corner. Tarkowski's in there. It was him, of course, that got that goal last season, wasn't it? Scrappy goal that it was. And the corner comes in again towards the near post. Reyes up. Comfortable catch from him. And in fact, there may well have been a foul on an Arsenal player there inside the box, Martin Odegaard. I think it might be got a whack in the face by the look of it there. Terry says there, Raya took that cross so easily. He did look very, very comfortable, didn't he, with that cross. Nick Mack says there, one more goal should seal it. Yeah, you'd imagine so. You can't see, Everton are struggling to create anything. I can't see them scoring at all. But yeah, if we get a second goal, then I think that it will definitely be that, won't it? So we'll see whether or not we can get that second goal. But I think Everton are going to show a bit more ambition now. I think they're going to launch more long balls forward and try to commit one or two more bodies forward, and that may well give us a little bit more space to create some more opportunities getting behind and maybe get that second goal that we, like you said, would definitely seal the victory there. Trossard now on this near side. It's his goal that may well be giving Arsenal the 3 points here. And this is the thing, isn't it? We said it before, these are the sort of games where if you're going to be successful, you have to find a way to break these teams down and get a win, and that's what we've managed to do. We haven't won this game yet, you know, there's still time, but we're coming forward again. Over on that far side, Ben White stands across up to the far post. Vieira's shot. Oh, maybe he should have left it for Trossard. They should have communicated a bit better there. Fabio Vieira took that shot at a bad angle for him, and he bounced it into the side netting, whereas Trossard just behind him may well have been a better option there. Having just scored as well, I think Trossard could have had time to take that down. But Vieira wanted to make a name for himself. I suppose it's a rare start for him. He wants to try and make the most of it. Odegaard out on that far side. Odegaard trying to get through 3 or 4 Everton players, runs into trouble. And now Everton on the counter-attack with Decore. When they played over on that far side to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he loses possession. And the ball's going to run through to David Raya. Nathan says he's not really been tested yet, but Raya says he's very calm and composed. He does, yeah, very, very calm and composed. He's very good with the ball at his feet. He doesn't panic. His distribution's neat and tidy, good. And yeah, no, I was always excited when we signed him. And now he's obviously going to be a really important player for us, isn't he? I'm sure. But yeah, he's not been tested really. He's had to make 1 save, I think, in this game, which was a comfortable save anyway. So yeah, we're going to have to learn a lot more about him. But certainly the early signs are good, aren't they? Very good. So we're definitely happy with the signing of David Rowe. He's on the ball again now, but at his feet. Pops it in to Zinchenko. That's a good ball looking for Jesus. Jesus is in behind inside the penalty area, but he wasn't able to quite get the ball under control. And Everton have managed to scramble it away. It was, I think it was Mikalenko there. Now Everton can come forward themselves up this near side with Danjuma trying to take on Zinchenko's out. Danjuma cuts inside. That's a good ball to the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in, but it's high and wide from Idrissa Gueye. And it's gone into the Gladys Street end. And a rare opportunity for Everton goes begging. But that was a great ball, actually. It was Gabriel with the ball. Jesus, nice take on his chest, and he just couldn't quite get it there. Terry says there, good defending by Everton. It was, yeah. I mean, the ball just ran away, but Mikalenko was strong there, wasn't he? And did well. Nathan says, going back to David Raya, he feels like a good fit. He does, yeah. And I think we all felt that. There was talk of Arsenal signing him 2 years ago before we got Ramsdale. And I think most of us felt then, yeah, he would be a good fit for Arsenal. But it didn't come off then, but it's come off now. And now Martin Odegaard, can he get there? Not quite. Everton managed to do the ball, but he's got a little bit of space now. Martin Odegaard, it's poor defending from Everton. The game's getting stretched. Martin Odegaard goes through. Good save, but the rebound's going to fall to Fabio Vieira. Is this his moment? Oh, the shot's blocked by Mikalenko, and Everton are still throwing bodies on the line to create, to keep themselves in the game, but Martin Odegaard there had a little bit of space there, ran at the heart of the Everton defence, got his shot away, decent save from Pickford, and then Fabio Vieira, it was on the follow-up, and again, it's good defending from Everton. They're giving everything in this game. They may not have enough quality going forward, but you can't say they aren't defending for their lives. They're not working hard for this team and for this manager. They really are. And then we've also got this corner in front of the Arsenal fans on this near side. Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard come across. Nick Nack says they're really opened up now. Yeah, we always knew an Arsenal goal would open it up. Fabio Vieira now on this near side. Can he get a cross in? He does get a cross in. Pickford punches with his little short arms, and the ball only goes as far as Ben White over on that far side. Declan Rice now plays it back to Saliba, finds Zinchenko. Also looking for that second goal, which would be the clincher, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. Fabio Vieira played well actually today. Little Fabio Vieira getting stuck in there as well. Goes down under a challenge. He's won a free kick. It was Ashley Young. It was who committed the foul. And now it looks like Arsenal making another couple of substitutions. Kai Havertz is going to be coming on. It looks like Tomiyasu as well, actually, is going to be coming on. Not quite sure who's going to be going off. But Anyway, Kai Havertz looks as though he's coming on as well. Terry says down to 10 men. Let's see. Maybe Havertz coming off the bench might be more effective, mightn't he? Who knows? It may well be Vieira that goes off, but that wouldn't be any slight on his performance because he's been really good today, Fabio Vieira. This is a Fabio Vieira that we was all hoping to see last year. A long way over the top, looking for Trossard. Pickford's out of his box there with a good piece of defending, actually. It has to be said. And anyway, so it's maybe it was an offside anyway, as it's a free kick to Everton. And Nathan says, your favourite player coming on, Terry. Indeed, everybody's favourite player is Jorginho. Is Kai Havertz. But actually, it is Tomiyasu's coming on first of all for Zinchenko. So that's the first of these changes for Arsenal. And it is Fabio Vieira going off as well, as we assumed it would be. I say that's nothing to do with his performance today. He has been quite magnificent. But why isn't Emile Smith-Rowe coming on? That's the question that we want to ask, really. Why isn't Fabio Vieira coming on? Why isn't Emile Smith-Rowe coming on? Instead, it's Kai Havertz again. And Everton have made their substitution. It's James Garner who's come on. Not sure who went off for Everton, actually. I didn't see that one. But it is actually Abdoulaye Doucouré who's got off for Everton. And there's 10 minutes to play here at Goodison Park. Could be a big 10 minutes for Everton, couldn't it? They need to get something from this game. They've only got 1 point on the board so far. They could do with another one, but they're going to have to take a few more risks now in these last 10 minutes if they're going to find a goal. Otherwise, Arsenal are going away with all 3 points from Goodison Park for the first time since 2017. How long ago that was? The goal scorers for Arsenal that day: Nacho Monreal, Mesut Ozil, Alexander Lacazette, Aaron Ramsey, and Alexis Sanchez. That's the last time we won at Goodison Park. That was the goal scorers for Arsenal. We won 5-2. Nick Nack says, good question. Well, yeah, it is a good question, I think. Nick Nack says there could be a big 10 minutes for Arsenal. So, no, you're right, absolutely. We don't want to be throwing this away now, do we? You know, this late on in the game. We've had to work really hard to get ourselves in front. And the last thing we want to do is give it away in the closing stages and throw away 2 points. But we're coming forward now looking for that second goal, which would definitely seal the deal. But again, Arsenal maybe do a little bit too much there. And Everton are able to clear it away. Well, they're making a bit of a meal of it, but they want a free kick now. Terry says the reason ESR ain't coming on, I'd say it has to justify 65 million worth of crap. Nick Nack says, yeah, that's just what I was thinking. I mean, I think there's that as well, but let's face it, it's not like ESR played a lot last season when we didn't have Kai Havertz. So I don't think that's just the reason. I'm not really sure what the reason is, but obviously there must be one. Something's going on somewhere because ESR is just not getting any minutes at all. And it wouldn't have been a massive deal, would it, for Kai Havertz not to come on in this game? But anyway, we shall see what's happening. Redendra says more like 20 minutes. Maybe all the stoppage time. Well, there was a lot of stoppage time yesterday's games, wasn't there? I'm not sure if there's going to be 10 minutes of stoppage time in this game. But anyway, we will soon see, I suppose. There's not been a massive amount of stoppages in this second half, has there, really? But let's see what happens. Arsenal got a throw there in front of the dugouts over on that far side, which Ben White is going to take right in front of the Arsenal bench. And we have got 7.5 minutes of normal time for Arsenal. So I wouldn't say hang on, because I don't think we're hanging on, but Everton are coming forward. It is important that that we do. In fact, there's a free kick there given away there by Leandro Trossard. I think Rodandra says there, Kai is tall. Yeah, he is tall, but he needs to have more than just to be tall, doesn't he? Really, to come on and contribute to the team. But anyway, Everton now got a free kick just inside their own half. Jordan Pickford's going to launch this one, you imagine, towards the Arsenal penalty area, because obviously there's not been anywhere near enough pressure on that Arsenal defence from an Everton perspective, has there, in this game at all? But they need to take some risks now. It's Jordan Pickford with his free kick. It does go in towards the Arsenal penalty area. Header comes in from Everton back in towards the 6-yard box. Tomiyasu heads it up rather than out. Still not really cleared. Now it is cleared. Trossard it is, manages to get the ball away. And that just showed what Everton can do if they get the ball in the box. They are going to cause us a few nervy moments, aren't they? That cross comes in, it's deflected off Tomiyasu. It's going to run all the way through to David Raya. Well, I'm glad to see he doesn't do that annoying Jordan Pickford thing of diving on the ball when he doesn't need to. And he just got on with it and rolled it out to that far side. I'm liking David Raya, I have to say. Now it's with Trossard on this near side. Trossard's goal it is, separates these sides and has left Arsenal on the brink here of another 3 points. Puts us on 13 out of 15. Just 2 points behind the leaders, Manchester City. And at this stage in the season, we'll take that, won't we? We'd be more than happy with that. You know, I would say we've had a fairly good start in terms of the fixtures that we've had. We've got some big tests to come out with. Of course, the North London derby next Sunday. Unbeaten Tottenham had that late win yesterday, didn't they? They're going to prove to be a tough nut to crack at the Emirates, I'm sure. You know, Arsenal now coming forward. Martin Odegaard fires Bukayo Saka over on that far side. Just rolls the ball in field to Ben White. Now Kai Havertz, his first touch, brings the ball forward for Arsenal. Finds Trossard, gets the ball back again. Kai Havertz, is it a crossover shot? Gone all the way across the goal. In fact, it's gone out before Saka could keep it in. Thought Kai Havertz was going to maybe get his first Arsenal goal there, which would have been good, wouldn't it? Having just come on, but the cross there was. Oh, did that go out? Yeah, I think it did go out. And it's going to be a goal kick to Everton. We're into the last 4.5 minutes of normal time. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal closing in on a big 3 points. But Everton are still fighting away, battling away, looking for a goal, which would mean it'll be another trip to Goodison without a win for Arsenal. And we have led and lost here before. Jordan Pickford's long ball forward, looking for Calvert-Lewin. He does win the header, but Arsenal do manage to scramble it clear. Kai Havertz, now it's with Trossard. Nice intricate play from Arsenal, but we get it clear, but not very far. Suddenly the ball keeps coming back. It's Tarkowski now for Everton. But that was a very good play there from Dwight McNeil. And again, Arsenal can try to play out for the back again. They're a little bit too intricate. And again, Tarkowski's got it back for Everton. Now it's with Branthwaite, who I think he's had a decent game. And now there's the referees getting involved. There was a little incident there between Jesus and Tarkowski potentially. And James Tarkowski is speaking to referee Simon Hooper, who's also having a chat to Gabriel Jesus as well. Not quite sure what happened there. I didn't really see that. But anyway, something's obviously gone on between those two. There's a little handshake and we move away. We move on from that. Nothing to worry about. Anyway, Everton making another substitution now. Nathan Patterson it is who's going to be coming on. And Ashley Young is going off. 87 minutes he lasted, 38-year-old in a Premier League battle, and Everton making another substitution as well now. Another young player's coming on. McNeil's going off. And it is Shamiti's coming on. Josef Shamiti is coming on for Everton in these last couple of moments. And it's another free kick to Everton, which is going to be taken by Jordan Pickford again, just inside the Arsenal half. I'm sure he's going to launch this in towards the Arsenal penalty area again, which he does. David Raya's come a long way. Oh, he's got there. He's collided with his own player by the look of it. Or was it Tarkowski? Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal. And let's see what happened here. David Raya came to get that ball. And, well, he kind of collided with a mixture of Tarkowski and Gabriel. And Arsenal would have cleared it away in any case. And David Raya certainly wasn't afraid to come and get that ball, was he? He didn't quite catch it cleanly in the end. But he's had a decent game today. He probably deserves his clean sheet, doesn't he, David Raya? And he's not far away from it now. We've played 88 minutes here at Goodison Park. Arsenal closing in on a rare victory on this ground. Could be the last time we play here, of course. That's a long kick there from Raya deep into the Everton half. That's where we want the ball to be in these last few moments. It's always nervy, isn't it, when you're 1-0 up away from home in the last few minutes. Anything can happen. Gabriel Jesus keeps that ball in, but Jordan Pickford picks it up and then goes long, looking for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He flicks it on, but it's going to run all the way through to David Raya. And this time David Raya does dive on the ball just to waste a few more seconds. As we head down towards the last few minutes here at Goodison Park, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal close now to the 3 points. See how much extra time is going to be. We're into the last minute of the 90. The ball's back with Jordan Pickford. I'm expecting some more late barrage of Everton long balls into the box in these last few minutes. There's another one there from Pickford, headed out by William Saliba. Everton now they're trying to come forward and find something, but Tomiyasu does well. A little bit intricate play there from Arsenal. We're giving the ball away actually over on that far side. The ball inside the box. The shot comes in. Oh, it's actually across the goal there. That was the chance. It was Dominic Calvert-Lewin, maybe not as strong on his left foot. Arsenal gave the ball away there in a really dangerous area. Really poor play actually it was. It was Patterson who had played the ball out there to Calvert-Lewin. And it wasn't really a cross or a shot in the end. And luckily for Arsenal, it came to nothing. And there's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time. It says 4. You would think there'd be a lot. There hasn't been a lot of stoppages in this game. It's not been the greatest game, let's be honest, but we don't care. If we're going to win 1-0, we'll be more than happy with that result, won't we? And it'll be a good clean sheet for David Raya on his debut as well, which will be nice, won't it? Anyway, it's going to be a throw now to Everton over on that far side. We played 30 seconds of stoppage time of the 4 minutes. So not long to go now until the final whistle here at Goodison Park. Oh, nearly a mistake at the back there from Gabriel. In the end, he's forced into a rush clearance. He's having to do some more work again now as Everton tried to force a late equaliser. It's Arsenal that's got a throw on this near side, which Tomiyasu is going to take. Gabriel there with a mistake, almost costly there. One thing we can't afford to do now is throw away 2 points here in the closing stages of this game. Everton's still battling for every ball. Jesus now on this near side tries to get clear, but that's a good tackle on him now by the youngster Nathan Patterson, who's just come on. Did well. They've got a lot of young English players, haven't they, Everton, in their squad? And you do feel as though that if they're allowed to develop these players, they could actually have a very good team going forward, couldn't they? A good young English team. Anyway, there's an injury there to, I think it might be Gabriel Jesus. And the ball's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Jesus there rubbing his ear as though he got a whack on the side of the head. Not quite sure what the referee's given. Has he given Arsenal a free kick? I think he might well have done. We've played 2 of the 4 minutes of stoppage time anyway. Arsenal very, very close now to this important victory. Hard-fought victory, you have to say. And I think hard-fought is the best way to describe it. We've had to battle for everything in this game. Obviously, we've been the better team. We've had much more possession. We've created more chances. We've deserved the win. But we've had to work very, very hard for it. We've taken this free kick. Jesus is going to head towards the corner flag. In fact, he tries to do that, but Everton do manage to win the ball. And now they're going to launch it long, looking for Calvert-Lewin. Turned away there from William Saliba. Couldn't keep the ball in. It's gone out for a throw to Arsenal, I think it might. I don't know who that's a throw to, actually. But anyway, Sean Dyche is looking quite frustrated. We've got a minute and a bit to play of stoppage time at the end of this game. And it looks as though Everton are sinking to another defeat, their 4th defeat in 4 games this season. They are in trouble again, aren't they? Martin Odegaard now. We're going to get a second goal right at the end to seal it into the last minute now of stoppage time. Bukayo Saka making a run over on that far side. Mikalenko's never been too far away from him. What a battle it's been between them two today, actually. And it's maybe been 50-50, I think, between the two of them, hasn't it? I think Saka's come out on top of a few battles. Mikalenko's come on top of a few battles, but Saka got the assist for the goal, so he's going to take the plaudits for that, isn't he? And Everton now having to defend again in the last few minutes. In fact, it is a corner to Arsenal into the last 30 seconds of stoppage time. Tarkowski is surprised by that decision, but it looks as though Arsenal are going to get over the line here. Very, very difficult game. A lot of the Everton fans have already left. Arsenal looking to keep the ball in that far corner again with Gabriel Jesus. And it is going to be is it a corner again to Arsenal or a throw? And in that bottom corner, we have almost come up to the 4 minutes of stoppage time. That's just whatever the referee wants to add on. It is another corner to Arsenal. And again, we're going to try and keep it in that corner. The referee there is just moving the Everton players away. Arsenal very close now to what's been a hard-fought 3 points. The corner comes in, but there's no one there now. It's gone to Jordan Pickford. This will be Everton's last chance to get the ball forward. Pickford goes long, and the full-time whistle's gone. Arsenal have got the job done, just not pretty at times, you have to say. Wasn't the most fluid Arsenal performance. Everton defended very well, but in the end it was that goal from Leandro Trossard midway through the second half. The one bit of quality Arsenal showed inside the penalty area. Saka with the assist, and the goal from Leandro Trossard has given Arsenal a victory here. It's finished at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Not the greatest Arsenal performance. Everton, you can clearly see what their problems are. They defended for their lives today. They're certainly playing for the manager, aren't they? A good moment there between Saka and Pickford, of course, two England teammates, Declan Rice and Calvert-Lewin as well in conversation. A lot of players that know each other from international duty, but it's Trossard's goal that's won this game. Declan Rice there and Tarkowski having a nice word there, and also with Jordan Pickford. Arteta giving Trossard a big hug there. A great finish it was from a little Belgium to give Arsenal the victory today. Terry says yes. Nick Nack says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Good win there, says Nathan. Nick Nack says job done. Yeah, it was job done. And I think that's the main thing we can say about that game, wasn't it? It was job done. Nick Nack says thanks for the watch. No problem at all. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you're with us. And don't forget, I'm on Talk TV on YouTube and on the internet at 7:20 on the Mark Sagley show. So that's 50 minutes time. So please come and join me for that as well. Terry says they're not the greatest of games to watch again, but it's another win getting there. Yeah, exactly. Another win. 3 points is all that matters. So these are the games, aren't they? We said before that, you know, the serious teams go here and find a way to win against these teams that defend for their lives and show very little attacking ambition. And yes, it wasn't our greatest performance, but we did what we had to do. And a clean sheet for David Raya on his debut as well, which is always nice, isn't it? When you make your debut as a goalkeeper, you want to keep a clean sheet. He didn't have a lot to do, let's be honest. But everything he did really, really well. And Arsenal have got the 3 points, and that is the most important thing. The two Ukrainians there, Mikalenko and Zinchenko there in conversation as well as the Arsenal players celebrate in front of the away fans. Declan Rice loves it, doesn't he? What a great signing he's been. I just love him. He's easily my favourite player. No problem at all. And all the Arsenal players coming over there to the away fans celebrating. A big victory. I say the first victory we've had here for a very, very long time. Zinchenko seems more worried about his Ukrainian friend than the Arsenal fans. But anyway, never mind. Regenda says their job done. Now we need to get a few more goals. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a few more goals, but 1-0 to the Arsenal's finally. David Raya there goes over to the Arsenal fans. What a debut from him. Very impressive. Terry says, take care, Nick Nack. See you soon indeed. Phil's here says, we've still not played as well as we can, but good to get a win at Goodison. Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. We haven't played as well as we can. Or, well, you say that. Maybe this is as well as we can play. We keep winning. We don't know really, do we? But certainly that'll do, won't it? We'll keep winning games. And we'll be more than happy with that. Everton have got problems. There's no doubt about that. They are in another relegation battle. You have to say they're playing for the manager. I believe they are. I thought they worked extremely hard today, Everton. They made it as difficult for us as they could. I think they carried out the game plan as well as they could. But when Arsenal have got the quality that we've got in that final third, that proved to be the difference, didn't it? The lovely link up between Saka and Trossard, a beautiful finish, and we've got the win. And yeah, Everton have got a lot to think about, haven't they? They've got a lot of work to do if they're going to survive in the Premier League. They've not been relegated since 1954 or something, is it? Last time they were outside the top flight. It's only Arsenal with a longer unbroken record. Terry says they're really looking old. Yeah, was that Joe Royle with him as well? I've just got a brief glimpse. I think it might have been Joe Royle as well. Some Everton legends, of course. Everton players that have won the league with the club. You know, they've won big trophies, and now they've got to see what a sorry-looking state this current team are in. And yeah, I think they've got, you know, they've got that battling spirit that they're going to need. Have they got the quality? Have they got the right manager to get them the points they need? I'm not sure. But anyway, for Arsenal, we're up to 4th place, just a point above Brighton. We've got 13 points. We're just below Liverpool and Tottenham on goal difference, and of course 2 points behind Manchester City. Brighton are just below us with 12 points, and West Ham make up the top 6 now on 10. Aston Villa 7th with 9 points. They've had a decent start, haven't they? So Everton then are still in the bottom 3, 1 point from 5 games. Wow. Only the 2 teams below them are 2 of the promoted teams, Burnley and Luton, both on 0 points. Burnley have only played 3 games, don't forget. And Wolves, Sheffield United, on 1 point as well. And then Wolves and Bournemouth both on 3. Chelsea on 5 points from 5 games, 14th place. They drew 0-0 at Bournemouth earlier on today. Wow. All that money Chelsea have spent is incredible, isn't it? Man United are only just above them in 13th place as well. But anyway, we don't worry too much about all those teams in the bottom end of the league. We need to worry about the teams in and around us. And so far, so good. I say 13 points out of 15. Yeah, we're not playing well. 2 away games in, 2 very, very difficult 1-0 victories. And yeah, great stuff. We got the job done. Not pretty, but when it comes to it's all about results, isn't it, at the end of the day? I thought David Raya had a great debut as well. Defensively, we wasn't really tested though, was we? Let's be honest. And we had the quality in the end to get the victory that was so important. And yeah, we'll take that and we move on. Of course, a big week, isn't it? Back in the Champions League as well. We'll look at that very shortly. Terry says, just think if Martinelli hadn't got injured, Trossard wouldn't have scored. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I don't know. By the time he scored, would he have come on? Do you think by that point or not? I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting point. Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have done. It was a great goal, actually, wasn't it? Curling away in off that post. Wow, so close to going wide, wasn't it? It's small margins in football, isn't it? And that was the smallest of margins there, wasn't it? For Trossard to get that goal. And his teammates enjoyed that as well, which is great to see. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Rajendra says, who will play on Wednesday? Predictions. Yeah, well, I mean, that's I think Ramsdale will play. I don't think there's going to be a massive amount of changes to the team because I think that it's our first time back in the Champions League group stage. I think, we're at home in that first game. I think it's important to get 3 points on the board early on. It's a game that we should expect to win at home. I don't think there's going to be too many changes to this team. I expect Ramsdale will be back in goal, though. I don't think the defence will change too much. Will Tomiyasu play at maybe left back instead of Zinchenko? Yeah, that might happen, I would say, potentially. So that could be a change there. Will Vieira keep his place? Yeah, I think he probably deserves to. Will Declan Rice get a rest? Maybe Jorginho might come in there. That's a possibility as well, isn't it? And up front, I don't know. Trossard, we don't know how injured Martinelli is. Maybe Trossard might come in. Will Smith-Rowe get a start? Reece Nelson. All these players aren't really playing that much. Will Jesus come back in? Will Havertz start? Lots and lots to think about, isn't there, ahead of that game? I'm sure Mikel Arteta will come up with the answers for us. Regenda says Vieira and Trossard changed position and it worked well. Yeah, I mean, it did, you're right. Maybe that needs to happen more. Maybe these two need to be in the team more. So maybe don't swap them out on Wednesday. Maybe keep them all in the team. But we'll see. I mean, we've got options, haven't we? We may well see some changes on Wednesday, but I'm not expecting a lot of changes because I think it's important that we win the game. We get off to a great start. And Arteta isn't noted for making lots and lots of changes, is he? Regenda says ESR to play on Wednesday. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if he will. I think there's some issues there. In fact, he's not getting on at all. We'll see. I'd like him to play. Be great if he did, but I'm not convinced he's going to. If I'm honest, I'm not sure he will. But anyway, let's wait and see for the team news on Wednesday, shall we? But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of options. I expect Jorginho will probably play on Wednesday. Be great for ESR to play, but I'm not sure if he will, if I'm honest. But anyway, let's see. Mark C says, total domination from minute one would have been a travesty at Everton, because it would have been, yeah, but football sometimes doesn't always work like that, does it? You know, it would have just taken one opportunity for Everton. They could have got a goal, and all of that possession and all of that hard work could have been thrown away. We've done it before. We've seen it happen before to us, haven't we? It's not like it's never happened before. But yeah, you're right. It would have been a total injustice if we hadn't won that game. But when it's only 1-0, anything can happen. Any team can score a goal, can't they? Any time, with a set piece, with a mistake, with a piece of genius from some player that you're not expecting it from. So we'll see. Rajendra says Nelson to play. Maybe. I'm not sure if he'll start. He might come off the bench. I'm not really sure. Terry says, hats off to Raya. He didn't have much to do, but what he did was class. Even our defence looked confident. I think that was one of the things today. We did look a little bit more confident, but it's difficult to judge, isn't it? Because Everton posed so little, asked us so few questions, didn't they? In our defence, so it's difficult. So I thought we looked a little bit more confident and comfortable, and Raya was great in everything he did. But let's not judge him on one game. I was very pleased with how he played today. But let's see. Obviously, I think next week in the North London derby, our defence is going to be tested more than they were today. I'm not saying they're going to be tested a lot more, but they'll be tested more than they were today. I think that's for certain. So let's see how that goes over the next few games. But yeah, brilliant start from our new goalkeeper, David Raya. So well done to him. Rajendra says Jesus will start. Yeah, you'd imagine so, because he hasn't started this season, has he? So you'd imagine he will, but let's wait and see. And Rajendra says Martinelli injury. Yeah, we don't know how serious that is. If Martinelli's not fit, you'd imagine Trossard will play. Maybe Nelson, as you mentioned. We'll have to wait and see. But the good news is we've got options now, haven't we? And we've got better options on the bench. We've got better quality on the bench than we had last season. That's going to be important with the Champions League, isn't it? We need to make changes for the Champions League, but I just think it's important that we're at home. We need to get off to a good start. There is, of course, a North London derby. Will that play a part in the team selection? Potentially. I don't want to see us making 7 or 8 changes. 2 or 3, 4 maybe at the most. I would say would be fair. I'd say maybe Ramsdale coming in, maybe Tomiyasu coming in, Jorginho maybe coming in, and potentially Trossard or Jesus maybe. I can't see there being much more than that. That would be enough for me, but we'll see anyway. Wait till Wednesday for that. But yeah, the important thing is we're going into our Champions League game on the back of another victory. 4 victories out of 5 in the Premier League, 1 draw. Good unbeaten start. What more could you want, really? You know, it's as good as we could have hoped for, really. Yes, we could have won all 5, and maybe we should have won all 5 when you look at that Fulham game. But then, you know, we were very close to dropping points against Man United, wasn't we? So, you know, it's swings and roundabouts, I suppose. But we've got 13 points out of 15. Not pretty today, but these are the games you have to win. If you're going to win titles and you want to compete, these are the games you have to win. And that's what we've done. So, yeah, well played to everybody today. I thought everyone stuck to the job well, stuck to our task. We dominated the game. We're a better team. We deserved to win. It was a great goal to win it as well. And some fairly good substitutions from Arteta as well, which is nice, isn't it? Because quite often we've criticised some of his substitutions in the past, but today he made some good substitutions, and that will do. Ross says there's 75 possession and we win 1-0. Do I have the right to feel aggrieved? Well, I mean, you can feel aggrieved if you want to feel aggrieved. It's you know, you're entitled to feel aggrieved, but that's football sometimes, isn't it? Everton worked so hard defensively, got everybody behind the ball, made it really difficult for us. And, you know, we can't really, you know, blame ourselves for that. We dominated the game. Yes, I'd like to have seen us score more goals, of course, and maybe have more chances. I mean, I wouldn't say we should feel aggrieved. We've won the game. You know, we haven't won on this ground for a long time. And we've been bullied out of it at Goodison Park a few times, haven't we? So I think it's a great win, not a great performance, but we got the job done. And, you know, we were saying at 0-0, this is a game, Man City come here and win. They find a way to win. We found a way to win. And that's, for me, that's good enough. in the circumstances, I'll take that all day long. Yes, we want to see free-flowing football. We want to see chance after chance. We want to see goals after goal. But sometimes it's all about getting the job done, and we got the job done. Try not to feel aggrieved, Russ, mate. You know, we've got a difficult away game out of the way, and we've got 3 points. You know, we've got our second difficult away game. Crystal Palace away is not easy either, and we've got a 1-0 win there. And we've got a 1-0 win at Everton. I think we need to be pleased with the results. The performances aren't there yet as we want them to be, but the good news is, for me, last season we played, every time we didn't play well, we didn't win. And that proved costly in the end. Whereas now this season, we're not playing particularly well, but we're racking up wins, and hopefully the performances will improve. And then we're going to hopefully then be winning games like this a little bit more comfortably. But I'll take a 1-0 all day long. Absolutely no problem at all. You know, and it was like I say, it wasn't quite a George Graham 1-0, was it? George Graham 1-0. We didn't have 75% possession, did we? But it feels a little bit like that, doesn't it? A great 1-0 away victory, which we do love. The Devon was going 3-0 v PSV. Everton parked the bus. Yeah, they did park the bus. Yeah, a difficult game, and we've won. Let's enjoy it a little bit if we can. I know it's not a lot to enjoy, but the 3 points is good. And Redendra says 4-2 v Spurs. Oh, that's a bit of a big scoring game, isn't it? Let's see how we get on Wednesday first. I'd like to take one game at a time, really. Terry says, yeah, credit where credit's due. Arteta out still for me. I mean, I don't think we need to have that conversation right now, do we? You know, we're doing well this season so far. We got a very, very tough game out of the way today. They've actually given Trossard man in a match. And I think that kind of shows what sort of game it was. You know, his bit of quality there was the only bit of quality in the game in the final third. You know, I don't think there was probably no one really stood out from Arsenal to say brilliant performance. But anyway, Trossard for his goal, maybe. Mark C says, Dyche complaining there was only 4 minutes of added time. Yeah, well, he can complain all he likes, can't he? We don't really care. Rajendra says, team is still getting used to each other. Yeah, but you've been saying it every year, though. Every year, what you got to remember is every year you get new players in. We haven't gone and bought 6-7 new players, have we? We've got Declan Rice, who's fitted in straight away. He doesn't need time. We've got a new goalkeeper who's come in today. He's fitted straight in. He hasn't needed time, has he? And then obviously we know the issues around Kai Havertz hasn't quite settled yet, but he was on the bench today. So I don't think that when you look at it, I wouldn't say that necessarily this team doesn't need time to get used to each other, because it's the majority of the team that played together last season, isn't it? You know, the defence today was a defence from last season. Yes, we had Thomas Partey's out, but Rice has come in. Not really noticed the difference there, have we? In fact, Rice may be better than Thomas Partey in that role. And the front three is very similar to what we had before. So I wouldn't say this. I think that's a little bit of an excuse as to why the performances haven't been great, because it is just largely the same team. We haven't had to integrate loads of players. I just think maybe we've tried to change the way we played it in the first couple of games. It didn't really work. We've gone back to what we know best in the last couple of games, and it's still not really clicking. But I don't necessarily think it's about integrating new players into the team so much, because that's not really been what's happening. I just think it's just the way it is. We're just in that little spell where we're not quite clicking into gear totally yet, but it'll come. And today there were good signs. Mark says to see you Wednesday. Yes, mate, we'll see you Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Champions League returns. Regina says playing Vieira, ESR, Nelson. Yeah, maybe those three might play on Wednesday. We'll have to see, won't we? Good options again, aren't they? Really good options. So yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, that was a good victory today. I think we have to take that and say, yeah, well played, Arsenal. We got the job done. The quality from the goal was brilliant. And yeah, it's a good away victory, isn't it? So let's look forward now to Wednesday, the return of the Champions League. Before, of course, a massive game next Sunday, of course, at the Emirates, which we will look forward to even more. But that's it then for today. I say I'll be on Talk TV on YouTube. I think it's on telly, it's on the radio, it's on everywhere. So I'm on the Mark Sager show. The show starts at 7. I'm not on until about 20 past. Looking back on this game, so that's going to be interesting, isn't it? I'll have to make some notes and find some stuff to talk about, because there wasn't a lot of talking points, was there? The disallowed goal. And that's pretty much it, really. So, but anyway, join me for that at 7:20. I'll put a video of it on the channel anyway later on afterwards. And yes, I will see you probably Wednesday now for the Champions League game. Not sure, there won't be a review show this week. Adam's too busy to do it. I've got a new job which makes midweek shows a little bit more tricky for me than previously. I might see if I can throw one together, maybe an Arsenal review show, but I don't know. There probably won't be an Arsenal review this week. There will be a watch on Wednesday, and of course there'll be a watch along on Sunday for the North London derby. I may try and get a preview show done at a Tottenham game as well later in the week. And of course, Friday we're at the Stadium of Light for the England Lionesses in the Nations League, the first game ever in the Nations League against Scotland. So that's going to be good. There'll be a vlog of that as well. So loads coming up on the channel though, even though we won't be doing some of the normal shows this week. Anyway. Regenda says they're still knowing where each player is and where they are moving and clicking. Well, that's what training's for. They train every day. These players have trained together for 2 years, some of them. So I don't know. I don't think that's an excuse or a reason why. It's just the way things are going. But we're getting the results, and that's the most important thing, isn't it? Terry says with Havertz, I can't see why he needs time. He hasn't had to move home or to a country. All he's had to do was play football, and so far I ain't seen anything from him. I think it's more a system, playing in a different system, isn't it? Maybe Declan Rice has fitted in straight away, but then Declan Rice is Declan Rice and Kai Havertz is a different sort of player. But he's not done enough for me, I agree. But anyway, let's hope he improves. Rajendra says there, Wenger said it takes 6 to 7 games for players to get. Yes, it does. If you're bringing in lots of new players, but we've not done that. These players have all played together, haven't they? Declan Rice, the only one who started today, who hasn't played previously, was Declan Rice. All the others was at the club last season. Okay, the goalkeeper, but he didn't have anything to do anyway. I could have played in goal and kept a clean sheet today. And the outfield players, Declan Rice is the only one of these players that started this game. And even the ones who came on, Trossard played last season. Tomiyasu played for 2 seasons. Jesus played last season. It was only really Kai Havertz, and he only played for 10 minutes at the end anyway. And by then, the game had been won. So that's not the reason this particular team today isn't gelling, or even this season, because we haven't had an influx of lots of players, have we? We've had some players come in, but it's if you're bringing in 6 or 7, 8 new players and they're all integrated in, then of course it's going to take a long time, isn't it? And that's probably where Chelsea have had the problems, but not in the Forest had the problems. We've kept a pretty solid regular team from last season, added 1 or 2 to it. And yeah, I think we should be doing a little bit better together as we are. Terry says, a great show, Richard, again. It wasn't an easy one. No, it certainly wasn't. Have a great week and see you later, my friend. Take it easy. Good to see you again. But Dennis says, we have only played 4 games this season. Well, 5, and a Community Shield is 6. But it's largely the same players that played last season. Many of them played the season before. So I don't see why they need any more time to adapt. Declan Rice does. Straight into the team, he's been brilliant. Havertz, we know he's got his problems, but yeah, we'll see. Jenna says a 6 or 7 player takes a season or more. It can do. It depends on the players that you buy. Every player's different, aren't they? Some players adapt quickly. Declan Rice. Some players take ages. Thierry Henry took a long time. Dennis Bergkamp. Other players can be even longer. Some players can take a year, but I don't know. At the moment in time, we've got a very similar team to last season now that's playing. At the start of the season, we were experimenting a few different things. Thomas Partey at right back, whatnot, and we've changed back to what we know best. We're still not really clicking, but it'll come. I'm not worried about it. Terry says, good night, everyone. Have a good week and see you all soon. Come on, you guys and you girly girls. Indeed. So, yeah, it finished at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Tough game. Leandro Trossard, substitute, replaced the injured Martinelli in the first half. Got the winning goal midway through the second half. A lovely, lovely finish to a good Arsenal move, actually, from a short corner routine. And that proved to be the difference. A very tight game, very tough game. We were a much better team. Got the job done. We've got 3 points. We're back into the top 4. And just 2 points off the top, which is nice, isn't it? Wenger says, Wenger said, for each new player, 6 or 7 games to click. No, but it doesn't take one player. That might mean one player takes time to adapt. But in terms of the whole team, doesn't need 6 or 7 games to adapt to one new player, does it? It would need, if there were 6 or 7 new players, it would take the team a long time to gel. But if you've got one player, Declan Rice, the only player who started outfield today that's not played previously before this season, that whole team around him, the other 10 players, don't need 6 or 7 games to adapt to Declan Rice, do they? Declan Rice might need 6 or 7 games to adapt to Arsenal, but he hasn't done, has he? Because he's played 4 or 5 and he's already like he's played forever. So one player into the team doesn't take 6 or 7 games for the team to adapt. That's for the individual player. In Declan Rice's case, no. In Kai Havertz's place, it might take him 25 games to adapt to it. He might never adapt. He might be another Willian or another one of those other players that's never quite managed to make it. But it doesn't take a team 6 or 7 games for one player to adapt, to make the team adapt to one player. No, it doesn't. What Wenger meant was it takes one player 6 or 7 games to adapt to their teammates on average. I'd say Declan has done it a lot quicker, hasn't he? Terry says, Havertz says, I had one good season, and that was 4 seasons ago. How much more time is he? Well, not with us. I agree. He's not had a great time at Chelsea, but he's only been at Arsenal very, very few games, and we need to give him a little bit more time. The signs aren't great. I've got to be honest. I agree with you. The signs aren't great, but let's give him a little bit more time before we write him off quite yet. James says, so Vieira was not so good last year, but now he's getting good. Now, yeah, and the reason for that is because he has he's a young player. He's had time to work on things in training. He's had to put in a lot of time, you can see, and he's had to adapt. But that's one player. Vieira's taken a long time to adapt, and that happens. And now he's adapting. He's looking a lot better, isn't he? Declan Rice has adapted straight away. First game in, brilliant. And he's been brilliant ever since. Everyone adapts at a different rate, don't they? And on average, maybe one player might take 6 or 7 games. Vieira's taken a whole year. Kai Havertz has taken so far 7, 8 games and still hasn't really settled properly. So each player is different, aren't they? But yeah, one player might take 6 or 7 games, but a team doesn't take 6 or 7 games to adapt to one new player. Especially a player like Declan Rice in his position, it's not like we're not changing the whole way we play to adapt to Declan Rice, are we? Declan Rice has just fitted in to what we were doing before. Regenda says Havertz now needs a bit more time. No, Havertz needs to play. I don't think he can keep starting games, because if he was starting games, it wasn't working. Now he's come out of the team. He's come on today. He didn't really do a lot in 10 minutes. What can he do in 10 minutes? I think that's the right approach. You might well start the European game and see what happens after that. But Havertz just has got to get it in training, hasn't he? He's got to adapt to the team in training. Then he'll be able to produce better on the pitch, or it just won't work, one or the other. We'll have to wait and see. Havertz says, I think give him until December. If not, out he goes in January. Well, I think with the contract that he's on and stuff like that, that's not going to happen. No one's going to buy him in January, are they? Let's be honest, if he's struggling in our team. Although we bought him when he struggled for Chelsea, I suppose. But anyway, no, we probably won't. He might not still be playing in the team regularly after Christmas. But I want to hold fire on Havertz for now. I think he has got quality there. We've got to find a way to get it out of him. Arteta's got to find a way to get it out of him. Anyway, I'm going to go because I've got to prepare for this show in about half an hour on Talk TV. So join me for that. And I will see, of course, on Wednesday here for the big watch-along, Arsenal versus PSV Eindhoven. It was a Europa League group game last season. It's a Champions League group game this year. We waited all this time to get in the Champions League, and we're playing against a Europa League team in our first game. That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Where's the Barcelona's? Where's the Real Madrid's? Where's the Bayern Munich's? Where are all these great teams that you want to be in the Champions League for? We've got to play PSV Eindhoven, and we played last season. Anyway, it's going to be good, isn't it, to be back? So we're looking forward to that. So join us for that on Wednesday, and of course the big North London derby next week. And don't forget on Friday the vlog for the England Lionesses against Scotland from Stadium of Light. It's going to be good. Loads coming up. Thanks for watching today. It's been great, hasn't it? And it did, of course. As indeed it did at Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago, didn't it? So that was good. So, yeah, a nice 1-0 to the Arsenal. Agenda says, Boyle, see at PSV, top team in Netherlands. They are top team in Netherlands, but we played them in the Europa League last season, didn't we? It just seems a bit strange how that's worked. But anyway, good stuff. See you Wednesday. Terry says, 330k a week. I want him firing on. I said, yeah, of course we do. And how much he gets paid is important, but some players need more time than others. Let's not write him off quite yet, but he needs to improve. There's no doubt he needs to do more. But anyway, we'll worry about him on Wednesday when I'm sure he'll be playing So join me for that. Thanks for watching today. Finished 1-0 to the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. What a start. 4 wins out of 5. Come on. It couldn't have gone much better, could it? Let's be honest. So let's enjoy it. Let's not get too bogged down with the fact we only won 1-0. We've lost this game plenty of times, 1-0 over the years. So let's enjoy the 1-0 win. I'll see you Wednesday. Enjoy the start of your week. Take it easy, guys. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.